And we are back with session 10, possibly I saw that, Clay, possibly and probably definitely our final episode of our Dragon of Icespire Peak adventure. We have some real life stuff that's going to have to cause us to wind down. However, we are entertaining the concept of coming back and either doing some of the additional content as one shots or like season 2. So this is the season 1 wrap up of Dragon of Icespire Peak. And we're going to start with Jamrel telling us what happened last time.
All right. Well, last time we started with a battle against many orcs. Though it looked bad for a moment, we were victorious once again. Rathian's skeletal horse and its caparison did not make it, however. The group then decompressed in various ways, with Cazador attempting to console Jamrel, Rathian drinking with Zooth, and the group having a meeting about our strategy for taking on the dragon. We took a long rest, and then we assaulted the orcs that were left at the shrine. They appeared to be in the middle of some ritual involving dancing and bones. Longtooth scouted the orcs under the cover of morning fog, and we approached the hilltop silently. A battle ensued, starting with a bombing from Zook and Illum. After demolishing the half-orcs and their twig minions, we were surprised by a lightning bolt that landed in the center of the shrine and awakened a lightning boar. Rathian landed the final blow on said undead electric pig with a pretty brutal inflict wounds to its throat. Xanth assured us that we had eliminated the orc warband, and we explored the rest of the caves. And I believe we may have a small montage to begin the session, so I will pass it back to our illustrious DM.
Every story needs a montage. Even Rocky had a montage. So we are, in fact, going to start with a montage. We talked about a couple of things in Discord between the last episode and now. Since this is the final episode, I went ahead and let them level up to 6 instead of 5, like we ended it last session, because they will have done a couple of things in between where session 9 ended and where this one picks up. So the questions that I had for y'all was, do you head to the hunting lodge at all and drop off that bottle of fancy wine with the gent there? And then if so, once you're done with the woods, do you head back to town at all? There was some talk of going to that shrine. Where is the group heading after Neverwinter Woods? Let me mute Roll20 here.
Illum would have suggested the lodge and then the shrine for sure.
Okay. So we have this sweet montage, and we see the group arriving at this hunting camp and meeting this tall, black-haired fella. He introduces himself as Falcon. There's a couple of other folks here, and they're the like rich, hoity-toity folks who are clearly like clientele from the Neverwinter area that are out here to have a man's day in the wood away from the toil of living in the city. And you guys give him the bottle of wine, and he spends the night kind of chatting it up with y'all. Jamrel, you're invited to kind of play in the common room of this like hunting lodge, and you guys get like a nice good sleep, considering that you spent last night like in a thunderstorm. Like, you did your best, but things were still soggy, so you have a nice good sleep before you start to head south. And then we have this great montage of other things happening kind of around the Sword Coast. We have a shot of a dragon just like destroying a cow. It's luckily not Petunia. We have a shot of Harbin and Tybor like arguing in the town hall, but it's a montage, so there's like music and you don't hear which words are being exchanged. You see a wagon load of like new recruits and farmhands arriving at Big Al's farm, and him kind of like showing them what needs to be done. And that scene closes with Big Al folding up a letter that he was writing and signs BAK on the envelope and hands it to like somebody who gets on horseback and heads west. We see a lightning strike at the top of this lighthouse out on the coast that you guys ignored for 10 sessions, but whatever. Gave you that one in the first episode and nothing, so whatever. We see a group of orcs heading north out of the woods and into the mountains. And then one of the last things we see is the group of y'all arriving at this shrine. And it's the shrine you saw that's south of Connieberry. And it's a square courtyard surrounded by brick walls, and each wall has like a bell tower. And when you arrive, there's an orc up on the ramparts, and he spots you. And then we have this like nice combat montage of y'all kicking ass with the last group of orcs. And they actually have an ogre leader. And I'm sorry, we're going to skip this fight, but y'all do a good job of kicking orc butt and like wrecking this ogre and kind of poking around, because you had heard rumors that when the town of Connieberry evacuated, they came here, and this is where they hid all their gold. So y'all poke around, and it's a loom that uses detect magic and gets a nice like glow from this altar. And so we have a scene of a loom like kneeling down and talking to herself, but mentioning the ancestors as she's praying at this altar. And when she touches it, she has this vision of like lifting out of her body and coming up out of the top of this open aired area. And like her spirit flies to the south and heads up into the mountains. And you get this, the camera zooms in on this stone fort that's crumbling, and it's built across, it's not the peak of the mountain, but there's two juts of land. And so each of them has this stone fort built atop it, and there's a thin bridge between the two, and the camera does one of those sweet like drone loops around and comes in and to the very top of this building, and there's snow packed up on it. And one pile of the snow, about the size of an elephant, I'd say for reference, kind of shifts for a second. And the last thing she sees is this huge yellow eyeball open. And then she wakes up back in her own body. And the montage is going to end with all of y'all gathered around a campfire kind of at the base of the mountains heading south. And then it is now back on y'all to say where you're going and what you're doing.
So, Longtooth has, I'm guessing, kind of led us here.
Yeah, so we have Longtooth kind of on the nature side of things, hunting the dragon, but we also have the general gist of the idea from the vision that Illum had. So he doesn't know the exact because of the out-of-body experience. He just knows south and somewhere up in the mountains, and Longtooth is doing the tracking part.
So, Seal, when I became 6th level, I got a new favorite enemy, and I picked up this dragon, right? Because we've been hunting him since level 1. So I guess I have this idea in my mind that, Longtooth has been doing, the math, right? Where have we seen the dragon, on what days, from how far, where was it flying to, flying off from, where was it carrying food in that direction, type such. They kind of all help the idea of giving him a general sense of where this thing has been layering all this time. So it's because I get advantage on my checks now to track this thing.
All right. So we're gonna come in, like I said, to you all gathered around a camp. I know there was a couple of people who wanted to role play out a scene before we started the trek up the mountains. So it is nighttime. In the morning, you're gonna wake up and start dragon hunting. Jamrel, you had something, right?
I do. As we all are kind of, I'm sorry.
I'm seeing some folks in chat saying your audio is a little low on. So if you could just
check.
There we go. Much better.
A little better.
Yeah.
All right. So as we're all kind of gathered around this fire, Jamrel kind of steps forward in front of the rest of the group and says, I feel that I owe the rest of you a bit of an explanation. I know that I'm not much of an adventurer. I'm not the strongest, nor the bravest, nor the quickest. But I know that I will never give up. A few of you are aware that I was sent away from my home, with my father telling me to see how the world treats a fool. And those were the last words he ever said to me. I didn't have much direction, but I knew that I could study in Neverwinter. And that is where I began to read stories of epic tales, grand adventures, and helpless people whose lives were saved. As I read story after story, I began to get the sense of my purpose. I planned to learn all that I could in the city and return home to help those who I grew up with. Unfortunately, it couldn't be so. Something or someone had leveled my home, and my family was nowhere to be found. So, instead of helping the people that I know, I vowed to help everyone that I can. Maybe helping people isn't right for all of you, and the gods know this whole adventuring thing is not what I thought it would be. But we all have the powers to become heroes tomorrow. Our story will live on to inspire other great people to pursue great deeds. And that, my friends, is something worth fighting for.
Where was your family home?
Oh, south of Neverwinter, a few leagues. They were just simple villagers. My father, a single parent, working hard to support me and my 4 siblings. And he had enough of my antics and my pranks. And when I came of age, he sent me away.
Do you know what destroyed the town? Or was it just your family's farm?
Our small farmhouse was a few miles outside of a village, and the village is fine, but nobody there knew exactly what had happened, and I don't possess the tracking abilities of Longtooth or Cazador, so I do not know.
Well, maybe if we survive tomorrow, we could give it a go and see if we can figure it out. Or
Yes, absolutely. Did your father and siblings survive?
I haven't seen them since. I'm not sure. Again, I'm not even sure if they want to see me yet. I think that I need to prove something, if not to them, to myself, here tomorrow.
Admiral probably notices Longtooth staring at him intently on the other side of the fire. There's almost a glare. He nods. It's true, General. You are a fool. But your foolish mistake is this. You don't realize that you're the best of us.
How do you mean? I've felt useless in compared to your mighty spear and...
One day you'll figure it out. You'll look back and you'll see how jaded we are, the baggage we carry. And he gives a sidelong look at Rathian.
Rathian will give him a sidelong look back. And then after a moment, he's going to kind of nod. And then he's going to get up and he's going to walk over to Jamrel. And he's going to just punch his hand straight out and hit him right smack in the middle of the chest and tell him what he's trying to say is being a hero's in here. And then he's going to turn his hand over and open it. And he's going to give you the clockwork amulet that he's been carrying around. If anybody here is going to be a hero, kid, it's going to be you.
This is a great gift, Rathian. Thank you. And thank you for those words. They ring true in my heart, but I would not have gotten this far if not for the help of all of you. And I think that is where our greatness lies, together.
Tomorrow, we're going to face the unfaceable. The thing that's been terrorizing the landscape from Well, from east to west and north to south. I don't want any of you making foolish mistakes for me. You are all still young. Most of my life is behind me. I've seen the spirit of my son return to me, and he calls to me. If you're making a choice between my life and yours, the choice is your life.
Well, I will give you my word to do nothing foolish if you will return the same.
I am a hunter of beasts. I will do what needs to be done. This thing will feel my spear.
Well, that doesn't mean you need to do anything rash.
I think you're talking to the wrong one. And Cazador gives a little glance to Rathian as well.
We have been... once we've come together, as Jamrel said, working together, we've done quite well. That thunder pig we faced within the stone circle, we acquitted ourselves with foresight and skill. That is what is going to be required tomorrow. No silly bravery or acts of vengeance. This is from what I understand, ferocious and also intelligent creature. We must be united in our approach and in our efforts. But I have faith in all of us.
We will be united in purpose. I do not recommend that we huddle close to each other as we normally do.
This is true. We have certainly learned that is a faulty and dangerous idea.
Then it is settled. If I die tomorrow, I suspect I will. If you can, I would like to be buried next to my family at my lodge. If you cannot, I will understand.
Of course. And are there any words you would like us to say?
I've never given much for the words of priests and gods. I don't think they've ever given much for me and my family. Just, I want to be with them.
It will be done. But let us not come to that circumstance.
What will be, will be.
Whatever happens, I'm glad I met all of you.
Likewise, friend.
Me too.
We've had a grand adventure together.
Yes, many of you are.
As are you,
Good.
Cazador. Strong and wise.
Now, let us stop being so dour. Jamrel, make music.
Of course.
Did you prepare a song for the final episode, Ben?
I mean, I might have prepared something for the wrap-up portion of our session. Yes.
Something public domain, we hope.
Rock and roll.
The old gray mare, she ain't what she used to be.
For now, I will stick with a terrible level 12 performance.
Average. At some point in the evening, the Illum is going to approach Rathian, and it's she walks up to him, and she's got her hands kind of clasped together in front of her as she comes up to him, and she'll would he be wearing his helm? Probably not.
No, not at night around the camp.
Right, and I think probably by this point it's gotten to where Alum rarely wears her mask around the group. It's mostly like when she knows they're going into battle, or when we would go into town or something like that. That's when she would put it back on. So she doesn't have her mask on, so you can definitely see her facial expression. She looks you'd probably think solemn or sincere, and walks up to you, and she doesn't open her hands, but you can see she's holding something, and she says to you, I've been holding on to this for you, and I've had many thoughts of what to do with it. You probably know I have the ability to repair it, and I would like very much to return it to you. But I respect the path you find yourself on. I'm very grateful that you entrusted it to me. Perhaps.
Let me stop you right there for a second. And as he says that, his breath will swirl through his cloud of usual cigar smoke. How closely have you looked at that thing since you got it?
So she's probably meditated with it quite a bit, actually. Trying to maybe figure out what happened and what it means, and
look at it real close. Look at the creases, the indents around the pierce marks. You see that? That's blood.
I gathered that.
And it's not mine.
I figured it might not be. Did you retrieve this from someone in your order, then?
I did. Call it a trophy.
I understand. So she puts it inside of her robe.
Why don't you hang on to that for me? And if things go south tomorrow and I can't get it back from you, just promise me you'll take it back to the Temple of Torm up in Neverwinter and just leave it there.
I will keep it safe until you are ready to return it yourself. And then that would be when she walks off, I think.
All right, gang. What's the plan for the night? Are y'all making Alum stay up all night in the cold by herself?
Probably.
Or are y'all doing shifts?
Usually have some time. Only have to sleep for 4 hours.
Yeah, I think Cazador and Alum probably have gotten into this rhythm of spending a good portion of the night together. When Cazador is sort of in her trance, Alum is probably just sitting quietly, nearby, perhaps meditating or offering prayers or what have you, staring at the sky and enjoying the stars and so forth.
Longtooth will definitely take a watch, like the last watch. He'll be up in the very early morning.
Awesome.
Probably Zook as well, but tinkering with something.
I mean, it's hard to sleep the night before finals, so I get it, guys. Okay. You survive through the night. No dragon or anything crazy shows up. Your last night And you wake up and you do your morning preparations and your morning routines and you pack everything up. And it's mostly south. From here is where your vision left you, Loom. But again, you just had this out of body experience and you just know it's in the mountains. And so
She would just totally be following like whatever inner guidance that her patron, sort of like this call of like, where does it feel like this powerful being is, and just trying to let herself be guided that way.
somewhere south. And you're in the Piedmont, to use some fancy terminology. So the hills are starting, and from here it's going to get steeper and colder and more mountain than the rolling hills around Vandalin. So hope you brought your hiking boots. Longtooth, you want to do some tracking?
Yeah, well, so here's the thing, right? I mean, obviously this thing is on the wing. So I guess in my mind, I've been kind of equating the tracking as to the aggregate sum of observations and patterns that it's been flying over the this last couple of weeks, right? Trying to compile that information. Not that Longtooth understands the idea of compiling, but what does it all mean to him, right? Like where do I think this thing has been leading itself? And I'll also combine that with the idea of a predator, an apex predator like a dragon. It scares off the local wildlife, right? So where the little animals are not, the more likely this dragon is, right? Because they're going to skedaddle. They're going to move away from this thing as much as possible. Just circle of life. So make a tracking check of all of that.
Go ahead and give me a survival check or a tracking check, but also give me just a intelligence check, because you kind of have a loom who can describe the final peak. So while you're taking this information, I'll let you kind of do that. I'm going to triangulate. If she says there's a super tall peak on the left and then it goes down and then another one, you can kind of start to triangulate your mountain peaks and stuff as well. So I'll give you two different checks there. I just realized y'all are on the wrong map and got a sneak preview, so don't spoil it, you jerks.
So I have advantage on wisdom checks to track the dragon. So this will be done. I'll start with the survival here. So that'll be the 18.
Okay.
And then looking at this here. And I also have advantage on intelligence checks related to dragons. So I think I just do this. So that's a 19.
Okay. So make sure I'm not muted. So you guys set out, and like I said, the hills are going to start going up, and you get into where the grass has given way to just hard, rocky, mountainous terrain, and the trees slowly change from the like story and a half various types of trees to like it's all evergreens at this point, and you're getting further up into the hills, and you make your way across this cold, wind-blown foothill, and you come out of the trees into kind of a clearing, and you see a large prone creature that's completely encased in ice, and it's probably 4 or 5 feet tall still, even though it's hunched over prone, and you'll have to get closer to see exactly what it is, but there is something pretty massive, and at this point it's not a block of ice. It has that stereotypical like the ice hit it from one side, and it has all the icicles sticking off of one side like it was a passing attack, and it's kind of hunched and recoiled back away from the blow.
Longtooth will first glance around furtively to make sure that the dragon is nowhere obviously near, and assuming he is satisfied, he will, spear in hand, held out in front of him, guardedly creep up upon this large creature.
Okay. You see no sign of a dragon immediately, And as you get closer, you can see that this is an ogre, one of the one-headed variety. And it's not wearing too much aside from kind of like a loincloth and like a hide vest almost. But it does have like a large, it looks like it's made out of leather sack kind of tied around its waist. And it's got a club in one hand, and it's definitely drawn back and recoiling from the breath that froze it. And it's just completely frozen in that stance. So giant ogre, big sack hanging on its hip on the left-hand side, and a big club in its right hand, completely encased in ice.
Sure. Longtooth is curious, and he's not reverent in the slightest, if you guys have not been paying attention. So he'll use the spear as something of an ice pick to kind of chip away the ice around this bag and pull it off his waist.
Mm-hmm.
And he's kind of like hunching his spear over his shoulder and kind of opening up the bag as he makes his way back to the party to see what is within.
Okay. It's sizable. Like it is, I'd say as wide as Longtooth is and maybe a couple of feet deep. And so this is less of a hold it in your hands and open the top and more like carry it like at your stomach level. But if you set it down and you open it up, once you've spent a few minutes chipping the ice away, you can see that it's full of lots of interesting, weird bits. You see some metal in there. You see some wood in there. There's some like brush or something. So do you want to start digging through this thing?
Sure. So to make it easier on his companions, right, he just pulls out a knife and he will cut the bag flat, right? So he can just lay it out open so everyone can see what's in there.
Okay.
Oh,
so
shiny.
You stick the knife in and it's tough at first, but you get a good cut going, and then you can just pull up and split this thing open, and it kind of halfway opens because you cut the one side, but the other side's still stitched, so you get this like semicircle of material essentially.
Sure,
and
he just kind of pats it down.
It splays out, and the group of y'all can now see the ogre's treasure, which are a rusty dwarven helm, 2 halves of a splintered wooden shield, a tumbleweed, a crumpled up and crushed cowboy hat, a sackcloth doll in desperate need of restitching, and 2 red potions.
I call dibs on the tumbleweed.
I'm putting the cowboy hat on Longtooth. Totally kidding.
This
detect magic
in your mind, just imagine a cowboy hat if it had been stepped on by an elephant. Like it's crumpled flat that way and just completely floppy. So if you reach up and put it on, it doesn't go down around his head. It still sits atop his head and just looks for a second, and then it kind of sadly droops over his face.
Longtooth picks up the dwarf helmet and smells it. I think this was its soup bowl. He tosses that to the side.
Nice. Alum will cast or use her ability to detect magic and see if she can determine what these bottles are.
You get no read from the tumbleweed.
Damn.
Nothing from the dwarven helm. The shield is not magical. The potions are. You can give me an arcana or a medicine check.
Are both +0.
You want me to?
And I rolled a 1. I've got no idea. I just know they're glowy.
It looks like it could be some sort of enchanted cow blood, or you're not quite sure. It's red, so maybe blood.
We might want to be careful with those bottles. They
Yeah, let me take a look at them.
they're definitely radiating.
Can I make like an alchemy check?
Yes, you can.
All right. So,
or a common sense check at this point.
Yeah, it's probably a healing potion, but
Don't forget, y'all have that potion of invulnerability from last episode. I have given you all of the magic items in the Roll20 that you guys have assigned to you, so you should decide who has that now, so we don't have to figure out.
Well, Zook knows exactly what those potions are.
Who has which?
The potion of invulnerability that you found in the orc bedroom. I want to know specifically who has that so that y'all can't be like, I run up and chug the potion if Jamrel's still holding it like way back there.
I think
Zook, those are in fact potions of healing, sir.
Yeah.
that'll be good.
He like knows the vintage and the person who made them.
I think Illum would have probably suggested that Rathian or potentially Longtooth keeps the potion of invulnerability.
Who is wearing the red beaded necklace? Is that Zook?
Mm-hmm.
Zook had it.
Yes.
I think Zook should have the potion.
Actually, I have it in my backpack as well.
That is a creature of frost, and I believe that fire will burn it well. And as long as Zook is up and that magic holds on that necklace, I think it will do devastating damage to that creature.
That's fair.
Potentially.
I also have some tricks to avoid some of its freezing capabilities, so maybe
I wouldn't risk it. I don't know how long that thing lasts, but we get in there and you think we're about to engage, I'd drink that thing and just light it up. Just burn that thing into the ground.
I can do that.
I just opened my Roll20 sidebar to like go make sure that y'all had access to all the magic items and stuff, and I noted that I had the Shrine of Savarus location still open, and I completely forgot a thing I was supposed to do in my montage after Illum's out-of-body experience, and I like wrote an index card for it that's in the other room and everything, and I freaking forgot.
We forgive you. We can rewind the tape.
All right. If you come through and watch the director's cut edition of this, there's an extended scene there where after Illum has the out of body experience and all of you leave the shrine, after there's more montage of like y'all looking everywhere for the gold and the treasure that's supposed to have been brought to this location and finding nothing, and you get, finally Rathian and Longtooth both just get fed up and they're like, we're done. Cazador's been bored for like a half hour. Let's leave. And as y'all
use the wand.
As y'all are walking away and like the camera pans back around, we get the group of y'all heading into the hills to the south where you're going to set up camp. And the camera follows a thrush, and the thrush like lands up in one of the bell towers with a snail, and it knocks on the bell, and the copper paint on the bell flakes away, and it's gold. And then it cuts to the campfire scene, and so the entire bell in that bell tower is solid gold, because they brought all their treasure there and they melted it down and then ripped the bell down and hung it up as disguise.
Smart.
Ah, that's nice. So the real treasure wasn't friendship after all.
Nope. Nope.
It's the only treasure we got.
Yeah. You can officially say that you got Nobel Prize.
Dang.
God damn it.
He sets us up for at least one every week. It's, it's all right.
Moving on.
Let's go kill a giant lizard.
Right. So
I like the original
Blizzard.
release. I never watched the DM cut. I always watched the original release.
all right. So I made the mistake of testing the stream cam to make sure that it could see what was going on. I didn't move you guys off the map so that I could move y'all back onto the map. So y'all are already there, but this is what you're going to see once you actually start to head up this path that Longtooth is going to find. Prepare for box text. Clouds partly obscure a stone fortress situated atop the icy spur of a jagged snow-covered mountain that you recognize as Icespire Peak, a landmark so enormous that it can be visible from Phandalin on a clear day. The mountain dwarfs the fortress, which consists of two separate structures joined together by a stone bridge. A narrow, winding path corkscrews up the mountainside to the smaller of two structures and appears to be the only safe way to reach it by land. It is an unwelcome path, but not as unwelcome as the cold, howling wind that buffets you.
While we're making this trek, Cazador is scouting ahead as usual and now moves even faster than she did before because occasionally she'll just kind of bob and weave into a shadow and then pop out of another shadow because finally got cool shadow monk power.
Yeah. I put all the tokens on the map just so that they would be here. Feel free to adjust your marching order and whatnot. I put y'all all the way up here. Just like I said, I was testing stuff, but feel free to make any preparations as you make this slow winding trek up the mountain here. So what do y'all do?
And just on cue with that stealth check from Cazador, Longtooth gets the hand signal that everyone should know by now, the get quiet hand signal, right?
Where he just points at Jamrel, goes like this.
I would also just like to note that right before we rolled out, Rathian would have gone into the forest around our campsite and came back out 10 minutes later riding his bone horse. Caparison and all.
So I'm going to go ahead and jump the stream over to the map screen.
How did that happen?
Like I said, you guys can put yourself in whatever order you want. And this is what you see. To your right is the smaller of the two buildings. It's up a hill to probably 2, maybe 3 stories to your right. And then you can see the larger structure up to your left, and the southernmost corner of it, the one closest to you, has been completely obliterated. The tower is knocked down, and there's actually pieces of the rubble, not just down the hillside, but actually but across the path, and you have to like step over pieces of worked stone and stuff as you head up this path. And up straight in front of you is the span between the two of them.
So, I would imagine we're probably going to try to be as sneaky quiet as we can. At least the loom certainly wants to.
You say that. I believe it's just a wooden door there, Cazador. Let me make sure. Yep, it is just a... the trail ends at the outer door of the gatehouse. It's a door that... it's a wooden door with those iron like bindings across it for strength, and it is closed.
Well, I go to investigate it, do a terrible job, so I'm probably just going to start push it open.
You push the door open, and it opens. As it opens, you can see to the right that there's a little hook where a crossbar would go across it, but that is not in place. And so you push it open, and the first thing that hits you is kind of the warmth of the building. It is not freezing cold in there as it is out here, so that it's definitely been heated up to some degree. Give me a perception check. Okay, yeah. You do not hear any voices, but you do hear the sound and movement of horses, hooves on like stone floor, and the occasional like snort of a horse. Just as you're creeping that door open, you can hear more than one animal kind of react to the fact that something's happening.
And they were in this immediate area. I'm not hearing like hooves on a ceiling.
No, like within 10 feet of you.
Okay.
In fact, I will go ahead and do some dynamic lighting things for you.
There will probably be sentinels.
How's that?
Nice.
Okay, I'm going to zoom in for the stream real quick. So yeah. As you open the door, you can see that there are 4 horses in stalls off to your left. There is a 5th stall that is open and not currently occupied by a horse. And the horses kind of like, they adjust to your presence. They're not scared of you, but they're like, oh, someone's here.
I am going to try to stealth through this area because I do see what looks like a person just in this next room.
Yep.
Can I use my animal handling maybe to try and calm the horse's reaction to our presence?
You definitely can. If you can do it before Cazador runs full speed into... Oh, no, she did it.
Run full speed? How do you get that from doing a stealth?
Because Cazador. Little elf bare feet on cold stone floor. You kind of run up to the corner, and you don't even lean around yet. You can see half of a guy standing there, and he doesn't react to you immediately, but he's clearly facing your direction and kind of just waiting on you to come around the corner. You do not see him brandishing a weapon, but you can only see half of him right now.
Cazador is just kind of gonna crouch there and maybe just move back a little bit.
Okay, let's go to the rest of the group and find out how everyone's doing before we enter this whole ordeal. Jamrel, Loom, Zook, Rathian, what's going on back there?
I'm following the last order that Longtooth gave, which is to stay back.
Yeah,
And quiet.
just on guard, looking around. I want to like keep an eye up and out around us in the hills and around us. Are we so we're like on ledges that fall off now at this point?
So, Jamrel, Loom, Zook, Rathian, on the map, to your right is up the hill to the building. To the left is down the hill to the path you came up on.
So she's just looking out where there's open space to make,
Okay.
you know, as if like she doesn't know if it's home or if it's out and, you know, hunting or what have you. And
Yep.
it would be horrible for it have it come up behind us. So,
All right. As you look up, you see that the building you are entering is a single story tall. The building to your right, which is the bigger of the two, is multiple stories tall. Longtooth, you gave me a 10 animal handling. A crit on the advantage, though. The horses are they're not chained up. Their leads are just kind of wrapped around the fence in front, the little bar across there, almost like they're ready to go at a moment's notice. They're not like... They still have their saddle and bridles and everything on, basically. And you successfully Crocodile Dundee them or whatever you do. And they were shuffling around a little bit, but they calmed down. And if no one else does anything, I have things for Cazador.
Well, when Cazador takes that step back, that's obviously a defensive posture. Longtooth will slide out in front of her, right? Because that's just the way he is. So you say like these people in the room, they see us off, they're waiting for us.
Yep, they are waiting for you. And so Cazador had stepped up there and then took a few steps back, and that's where I had paused it. So last chance for anyone else to do anything before we have the Longtooth steps forward and this happens.
well, I imagine we can't really see what's happening up in there. So
Not really.
Yeah, Rathian's just on guard. He's ready to jump in and assist if he needs, but he's definitely not the one that's going to do the talking.
Okay, then you are going to get a male voice that just says, all right, just hold it right the hell there. And it sounds like it came from the edge of the token that you guys can see down from this guy.
In the quiet, you can hear the sound of tightening leather as I crush the handle of my mace.
Who are you? Who dwells with the dragon? Quickly, surrender your names to me.
The two guys, you see two male humans. One of them he's kind of portly. He looks like he used to be fit, but has kind of let himself go. And then the other guy is much more like scars on his face, brutish. He looks almost like Longtooth, if I had to describe it quickly. He's a very weathered man.
It's a good looking fellow.
Yeah, right? And he's the one that spoke to you first, and he just says, "We don't owe you anything. You're the ones trespassing here. Go ahead, get out of here before we make it worth our while to rifle through whatever you got and have brought us. You're trespassing, just go." And he makes a comment to his buddy that's too quiet for you to hear.
I give you one more chance to explain your presence here before I mark you an ally of the dragon.
We ain't no allies of the damn dragon, and we ain't no friends of yours. You're trespassing. This is your last warning.
We will not be turned away.
What's happening in there?
Can't really see. Longtooth's too big.
Let me make sure I got this right. At this point, you can see that they both have swords at their belts, a long sword on one side, a short sword on the other, and crossbows across their back. Just to set the scene here, they are armed. What was your last comment there, Longtooth? You won't be turned away?
Correct.
The one who hadn't said anything just kind of like sneers and snorts a little bit. And then the other one speaks back up and says, "Yeah, well, neither will we. We found this place. We laid our claim to it. We've worked hard to get here. So you can just piss off." And he's going to pull his sword out.
General, maybe we can talk with them. Maybe you go in the front and just...
Yeah, we push Jamrel in.
Yeah,
Seeing the one guy pull his sword out, the other guy is also going to start to pull his sword out.
Quick, go help them.
Rathian and Longtooth, give me quick perception checks before Jamrel is shoved up here. Sweet. 12 was the DC, so you're both going to see it. The door over here is not closed all the way. It's cracked just enough, almost as if somebody was watching through it or listening through it. You saw where I pinged?
Yeah.
Okay.
Longtooth whispers behind him to Cazador and company. 4 horses, 4 men. He's taking a guess, obviously.
Okay. At that point, we're going to go ahead and roll initiative because your sexist ass is going to have to deal with the fact that a brutish-looking woman swings the door open and fires a crossbow at Rathian.
Love it.
Oh, much better than last week.
That's how it's done. That's how it's done.
Spectacular. So we got...
Oh, I forgot to click on myself.
You should be able to roll and then edit to your original roll.
For everyone listening, we have Cazador with 18, Jamrel crit with a 22. Uh-oh, one of the veterans also crit. That's not good. Let's see, Illum got a 12, Longtooth a 20, Rathian 14, and Zook is at 22.
I like that you didn't wait for me to order them so that you could give it in some kind of meaningful...
Oh, well, sure. That would have been the smart thing to do. Now I know for next time.
Yeah. Let me get the initiative order like sorted for the stream here.
Looks like allies of the dragons it is.
Well, maybe. Let me go ahead and make this crossbow attack.
Competing adventurers.
10 is going to miss Rathian. Well, let's not say miss. Let's say it hits him square in the chest and then does nothing.
He just looks down at it, looks back up at her.
Yeah. So she swings the door open and fires a bolt at Rathian, and we're going to start combat. Longtooth, your camera is showing nothing but beard.
No. I'm leaning forward into the combat. I'm looking at stuff. You got me interested.
Got it. Just letting you know.
It's not a good look. It hides my face in my defense.
it
well
complements it complements when Gregory leans forward.
Yeah,
and we
I
get
do
nothing
this.
but forehead.
I'm like writing notes or whatever.
Zook, you are up first.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Is there any way for me to advance forward? I can't see anything right now.
You are a gnome. Your friends are not 5 foot wide. I will let you squeeze on through there. I'll probably take 5, maybe 10 feet off your total movement. Or you can be super classy and give me an animal handling check and try to scramble underneath 3 horses and get to that final stall.
I will definitely do that. So 16.
All right. You are fairly confident that Crocodile Dundee and yourself have calmed the horses enough that you can skedaddle all the way up to that final stall. Because
Here?
the wood in the horse stalls only is solid for the back 5 feet, and then it's kind of just 2 railings. So you hop through a railing, go past a horse, slide under a railing, go past a horse, hop through the next one, and you end up in that final spot. And you're like, bam.
So
And
I'll just be here, and I'll hold my action and hold my attack with the Prism Zapper until any one of them attacks us again. Because I want to give Jamril a chance to diffuse combat.
Okay. Jamril.
That's all.
Last suggestion, what?
No, Jamril, don't defuse it. Wreck the place up.
Well, no,
Cazador says light the fuse it.
he's been pushed forward, and he's heard bits and pieces of this conversation. So he is going to shout out at the guy he can see, casting suggestion, and say, "You should welcome us as guests. We are not here to harm you."
Okay, what's your DC on that bad boy?
Wisdom
14?
saving throw of 15.
15. Oh, I don't know if I can make that.
Here comes a crit.
Or an 11.
Or an 11. So what we get is Jamril hasn't seen this yet, but the folks up front have seen that one of them's clearly the guy that does the talking, and the other guy, the one who's let himself go, is just kind of going along with it. And so ironically, that's the one that you suggest, and you're like, you should welcome us as guests. And he kind of turns to his buddy and is like, yeah, man, why are we going to get into another fight? It's cold. I'm hungry. Let's just let him in. It's not like the dragon's going anywhere. Why are we going to make ourselves weaker fighting these people? Let them go and die to the damn dragon. And that's where that's at. Is there anything else that you're going to do on your turn?
I think that I'm happy with that. I will stay where I am.
We're going to have his turn basically doing nothing. It's going to be spent doing the words that we just had. And we're going to get to Longtooth.
Longtooth.
You have a fat guy who's like, yeah, man, like, let's not bother with this. A guy who's getting ready to attack Rathian with a sword. Somebody back there reloading a crossbow.
Yeah, Longtooth doesn't know anything about magic and suggestion. And he knows that this
It's
woman,
been 10 episodes and he finally affects somebody with a mental spell and you're just going to ignore it.
all Longtooth knows is that a woman shot his friend with a crossbow. And that is an intention to kill.
On brand.
Right? So, yeah, he says, brought a crossbow to a spear fight. And he is going to attack said woman with his spear. That's the plan.
It was worth a shot, Ben.
Yeah, it was.
It worked.
It did the thing.
There's a 22 hit.
22 hits.
All right, so she takes 6 points of damage. And then he's going to turn that spear on Blondie here.
Uh-huh.
And
that's the good-looking fella.
That's the good-looking fellow. That's right.
Get him in the face.
That's his moneymaker.
I'm guessing a 9 does not hit.
Well, it's 5e. I believe a 1 misses regardless.
Regardless.
Oh, yeah. Fair enough.
I remembered the thing. I played some Star Wars last week.
I'm not used to
I'm looking forward to messing up the rules on the system that I do all the dang time just because
And then he'll provoke from Blondie, and he'll step back to where he was.
Okay. Blondie will slash at you. I should have probably kept that character sheet open.
Probably.
He's only got a sword in one hand, though, and that is a 12 to hit.
That's a miss.
So his attack will probably trigger my held action.
Yes, it will.
So
that corner is not enough to math cover or anything else in there. So
I'm going
as normal.
I'm going to shoot twice at the crossbow holder.
Lady?
Yep,
Okay.
crossbow lady.
That's a sweet line you drew there.
Yeah, take that off. That was an accident.
So it's a 22 to hit and a 12 to hit.
22 hits. 12 does not.
So 12 piercing damage from the first hit.
That's a lot of piercing damage. I should have not let y'all level up. She's still up. Longtooth, that was your turn, and it's going to be Blondie's turn. Blondie is going to step forward and take his sword in both hands and just kind of try to run you through with it.
You sure you want to die today?
I have nothing to say to that right now. Let me attack Clay first. 16 to hit.
That's a negative, sir.
He's going to stab out at Longtooth and miss, and Rathian makes that comment, and he's just going to kind of wildly swing around, and it's not even a mechanical second swing. This is how bad it is. He's just going to try to swing around at Rathian and basically just sword into rock wall and get that like sweet, I hit the wrong part of a metal baseball bat vibration down his hands. And it's going to be Cazador's turn.
All right. Well, let me try to move through this line of people here and see what I can actually get to.
Do you want to like go over the horses?
Shadow step.
Yeah. I probably got some shadows around here. They probably got some shadows around there.
Behind Zook is a shadowy spot based on the light coming. The light is in here where they're at. So there's a light there, and then there's a light by the door, which means that behind Zook is definitely shadowy.
Well, that's not the direction I want to go.
I'm just letting you know that there's a light over here and a light at the door, so deal with it.
I'm just going to...
Somebody press the digitation the light out, and then you'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I can't really get through this gal. So, yeah, I guess I will move over this way.
And, like, you can step over Zook.
I could, but I wouldn't be able to move through the Blondie.
bad guy.
And I couldn't possibly stand on Rathian's shoulders.
That
That would be uncomfortable for all of us.
Couldn't she step into that room like past all of us?
There's no shadows in there because there's a light source in there. What's the limitations of the shadow step?
Oh, well, I can do it into dim light or darkness. So if there's an area of dim light in there.
Yeah, the torch is literally hanging on the wall in that room. Like they were there waiting and had a torch with them because they're all humans and can't see in the dark.
So since I can't move through her, so the door is open now in the other room.
The door the door in front of Crossbow Lady is open.
Okay. I am going to... Well, I was going to attempt to throw a javelin, but I don't have that as an attack on here, which is just fabulous.
If you drag a javelin to your sheet, you should just automatically get it up in the attacks area and whatnot. I'm also going to delete this dynamic lighting line, which was just to keep y'all from cheating, because the loom can technically see in those arrow slits now.
Let's see if I did it. It's accepting drop from compendium. Yes. All right. Bam! Oh. Kezidor's just like, oh shit, there's nowhere to go.
Somebody's muted.
Thank you. Choke point. That's why they chose to fight here. They saw you all coming, and yeah.
We've got our
For
own
those-
choke point. It's called Rathian.
For those of you that missed my comment while muted, the lady with the crossbow closed the door partially to intercept Cazador's javelin.
Thus endeth my turn.
I have an infant upstairs, and so I mute myself as much as possible to save y'all from my breathing and screaming baby. I'm sorry. Rathian.
All right. Rathian is going to pull the crossbow bolt out of his chest armor and throw it in this guy's face. And he's going to tell him, one last chance. And then I'm going to hold my action until one of them attacks.
Okay, one of them attacks. Which one it is one you haven't seen yet, because the door to the south is going to open up, and stepping out is going to be another woman. And this lady, she's, despite what the token looks like, she is a brash-looking woman with red hair pulled back and a ponytail. And she is also wielding her crossbow and is going to step out into the room as soon as I do dynamic lighting and GM level layer things. And she's just going to, it's going to be a tough shot, so I'm going to give you a +2 based on the corner there, Rathian, but she's going to shoot a crossbow at you.
Okay.
So 15 to hit.
Plink. And with that, I need them all to make wisdom saves.
Okay. We're going to do girl up top, girl down bottom, boy down bottom. That's the order of these wisdoms. Okay, so
16 passes.
Okay.
As
So
Rathian,
Blondie
that's-
passes, everyone else fails.
3 9s.
that's pretty good. Rathian will bring his dark, heavy metal hand up and just say, flee. And they all become frightened and have to flee from me. They can't move towards me.
Okay. Do they have to run away from you, or they just can't move towards you?
Let me click it.
Illum, it's your turn, so go ahead and start figuring it out.
If a creature frightened by this effect ends its turn more than 30 feet away from you, it can roll a wisdom save. Each creature of your turn, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so basically they're just frightened and they can't not be frightened, which I think means they can't move towards me unless they get 30 feet away, and then they can roll.
Okay, while Greg takes his turn, I'm going to go look up what frightened means, because I have handouts for that somewhere.
Frightened. Frightened says disadvantage to checks and attacks while the source of fear is in sight. Can't willingly move closer to the source of their fear.
There you go.
Oh,
So
that's it right there.
they can no longer approach our bottleneck. They have disadvantage as long as they can see me, and they can only make a wisdom save to get out of it if they are more than 30 feet away from me.
All right, well, this fight's over.
I gave them a chance. I gave them 2 chances.
Yeah, well, the card says that they don't care.
Awesome. So Illuma is going to press as far as she can into the rooms, probably pass Jammerl a little bit, like squeeze by him. And she wants to look around. She's going to do 2 things. She's going to take a quick glance at the horses to see if she recognizes one of the horses as the one that she saw the rider in town recently while Longtooth and she and Cazador were out on the porch of the inn. And if similarly, if one of these individuals in the room is that dude.
None of these people are the weird guy with the cloak drawn over himself that you saw in town.
Good.
All of these horses have the same brand as the weird guy you saw with the cloak in town.
Interesting.
Remember, somebody, I think it was Longtooth, looked at it to see if it was a Big Al Calzorn horse, and it was not, but it was definitely a different brand. And I gave you the description. It looked like a racing horse, like it wasn't a work horse. All of these look like that, like they're fast riding horses, not work animals.
So if she sees that, she would probably say that to Longtooth. These must be associates of that man we saw in town several days ago. Their horses bear the same mark. She's going to... She can't really see anything. I think she's just going to try to hold an Eldritch Blast in case she... Or maybe... I mean, can she get a bead on this character right here? Past her friends?
Sure, based on the double corner, +2 to AC.
Yeah, well, all right. So she's gonna so she is going to then, I guess, reach into the shadows again and throw out Chill Touch.
Which is neither cold damage or requires touching someone.
So this skeletal hand comes up out of the stone and claws at that one with an 18 to hit.
That'll hit. Armor class 17.
Well, you said -2, so 16.
Oh, then that won't hit.
Damn. Well, there you go. So that was what she did.
Okay, so a skeletal hand comes out of the wall and tries to slap this guy, and he like... Sweet.
My aim is off because I can't quite see clearly.
That's why they picked this point. Crossbow lady is going to try to shoot past her friend and into Rathian. She has disadvantage because of the fear, and technically he's providing cover. She's on like a step up, but that's not enough to consistently know that your crossbow is not going to shoot your friend in the back of the head. So she's going to try real hard not to do that. And she's going to fail miserably. So she is actually going to take several steps back and step around a corner. And in her turn, and it'll be Zook's turn.
So I don't see her anymore. I do see Blondie, though. So I will shoot Blondie twice.
Okay. Both of those are gonna be misses.
Yup. Pew pew. That's my turn.
Jamroll. There's
too-
just a whole crowd of people not hurting each other, and your attempts for this whole crowd of people to not hurt each other were completely thwarted by both crowds of people who wanted to hurt each other, but now aren't good enough to hurt each other.
That was very confusing. Yes. That's what's happening. I can't really see that much either. So I am going to I will give Illum the shoulder rub of goodness.
It's
and
important.
then I will shout at overweight guy. Looks like you could do a few push-ups. And viciously mock him.
Burn.
That
He's
is-
already suggested, right?
Well, hasn't he been attacked?
He was until people started attacking everywhere. I don't know if anyone...
He
nobody's
hasn't
hurt
been
him.
attacked.
Nobody's hurt him. He's been attacked, but nobody has hit him. What's the rules on suggestion?
Oh, I didn't think anyone
me-
attacked him yet.
You just did.
Oh, I misunderstood. I thought that... Damn it. That was my fault. Sorry.
I'm just gonna let it go anyway,
Yeah,
and stop
yeah.
concentrating, and I'll,
Got it.
I'll do this vicious mockery.
Wisdom save.
We'll say Illum didn't realize that he was under
You
your
s-
control.
You say, looks like you could do a few push-ups, and then we have like a scene of the internal monologue where he realizes that he couldn't do a few push-ups, and and
Excellent.
takes 5 psychic damage.
And there we go. Action, bonus action, and I'll stay.
It is going to be his turn, and he cannot get any closer to Rathian. So he is going to step back, drop his sword to the ground, and pull out a crossbow and try to shoot into the group of y'all and hope that he hits somebody. There will be some cover involved between the corner and his buddy.
Also disadvantage.
Also disadvantage, which means that it's a fail. So roll me a d6, and if you roll higher than a 3, it'll hit his friend, because I don't care anymore. There you go. You hit his friend. 9 piercing damage into the back of that guy's head.
Perfect.
Okay. With the exception of Longtooth's opening attack, they have now done more damage to themselves than y'all have.
We're great. We are so ready for this dragon.
Longtooth.
Yeah, the ghostly form of his son, Lucan, falls through the ceiling upon the back of Blondie here as a bonus action. And then I jab him in the face with the business end of the spear. I don't know if that hits.
No.
And that doesn't hit either.
No.
Jesus.
Arg.
16's a hard AC to hit, guys. I want to tell you.
17, actually.
17, wow. What's
Yeah,
he wearing?
They are all wearing splint mail.
All right, there you go.
Good stuff.
Yeah, they
Soon
saw
we
y'all
will
coming.
all be wearing splint mail.
You're reading my mind. That's awesome.
They saw y'all coming and had a chance to get dressed, so they was ready. Blondie is going to try to attack you back, Longtooth.
At disadvantage.
At disadvantage, but luckily no cover or anything crazy. And a 9 will miss, which will bring us to Cazador, who's
As
in
he's
the back.
trembling in fear.
What's the light situation in that hallway like?
I will give you dim light at the top of the stairs.
Booyah! Wabam! Bamfing to the top of these stairs then.
Yep. Okay. So now that you can see into that room, you can see that there is in fact a light in that room, but it's shielded in a way that as y'all would have came up, you would have not seen the light through the arrow slits, and that's why it's so dim here, is because it's not actually a hooded lantern. It's an attempt to hide the light of a lantern. So there is a small light in this room north of you, but you are in a shadowy corner, and you have Scaredy Lady with a crossbow right in front of you.
Well, I'm going to step up, and I'm going to stab her.
And for some reason, the stream can't see your token. I'm going to fix that real quick. You go ahead and do the stabbings.
Stab number 1. Oh, yeah.
Stab number 1 is a hit with a 22.
Stab number 2, because I do that now. Stab.
That should have fixed the stream. That did not fix the stream. What's going on here? 22 is a hit. 23 is a hit. 13 damage.
So I come in and I just give her a good sticking. Bring it back around, give her a good sticking from the top. And then I'm going to try out my new lightning pig claws.
What do we got? We got 14 is going to
I don't
miss.
think that one worked. It was a
Nope.
valiant effort, though.
Stab, stab, and then claws like center mass, and you just hit armor, and you have that like you look up, and she's looking down to be like, oh, this is going to hurt. And then it doesn't go through the armor.
Armor. It's for wimps.
Yeah. I don't know why the stream... There it goes. I fixed it. Rathian.
All right. I am going to...
She's not looking too good, by the way, Cazador. You almost got her.
reach out and touch someone.
That's going to hit. 24 will definitely hit this guy.
Wow, that's the worst roll of that ever. That was a level 2 spell for 10 points of damage.
You did 25 to Lightning Pig, and you did 10 to this guy.
Yeah.
Fun fact, y'all have now done almost 15 damage to this guy and his 60 hit points. So
That was incredibly lame.
2 1s, 2 2s, and a 3
Oh my gosh. this is
on
bad.
5d10.
Yeah.
That's almost as bad as you can roll. Ouch.
anything else, or are you quite finished?
Yeah, I'm done, obviously. that was supposed to one-shot that guy.
Thanks, Roll20.
Rolling hot. Can't wait for the dragon. Red-haired lady is going to crossbow at you at disadvantage, so a 12 is going to miss. She can't move any closer, but she doesn't want to back away and have worse of a shot, so she's going to end her turn. Illume. Come on, y'all.
Yep.
Do something.
So Illum is going to she can't see Kaz, which kind of stinks. So she says, well, let's try this. And she's going to reach out and tap Longtooth on the shoulder. And it's a slightly different tap than he might get from Jamril, to the tune of that, which is haste.
Nice.
And after that,
Chat
she...
says y'all are saving all the good rolls for the dragon.
That's right. You better believe it. So she says, here, Longtooth, perhaps you can use this. And now you have, +2 bonus to your AC and advantage on deck saves and an extra attack. 1 weapon attack. And that's it for Illum.
The lady in the hallway with Cazador is going to chuck the crossbow to the ground.
She will say one thing. She'll say, can we push forward?
If only Rathian had taken Shieldmaster.
Right. Well, he can still do it. It just takes his action. That's
That guy should have just been bulldozed into a steaming pile on the ground, but
fair enough.
How's that working for you? Lady in the hallway with Cazador is going to chuck her crossbow to the ground. It clatters across the cold stone floor, and she's going to draw a longsword and attack Cazador with disadvantage, right? Still furred?
she did.
She can't see you.
She can't see me. She still can't move towards me, but she can attack without disadvantage.
Okay. 18 to hit, Cazador.
That'll do it.
6 slashing damage. Everyone's rolling like garbage, even if they hit something. Yeah, rolled a 3. Sweet. Zook.
So Zook will take a step back and fall prone. Just looking underneath Rathian's legs, aiming for the blondie. He will activate his Prismo Zapper and attack twice as the lightning energy courses through his weapon. So this is going to be...
I'll give you a wisdom save there, Rathian. Thank you.
Still afraid.
10 is not going to do it.
16 will not hit Mr. Brackus, but a 23 will. And that will do 12 piercing and 3 elemental. Jeez.
And that's going to be my turn.
All right. That guy's starting to look a little rough finally, because you just did like double the damage that's been done to him so far. Sorry, that's actually as much damage as has been done to him in multiple rounds in your one hit. Jamril.
We're just warming up.
Just
Yes.
Work
So, once again, having trouble seeing things. So I think General's finally going to try to clamber onto these horses. Does he have to check for that?
what is your end goal here? When you say clamber onto a horse, are you trying to crawl across multiple horses or just get on a horse?
I'm trying to clamber from this horse to this horse so that I can see better into the hallway.
Give me an animal handling check and roll over a 10 because Cazador already calmed him down. Hey, and then give me just a general dexterity check to go from one horse to the next and roll over a 12. So
I fall below.
you
15
actually
was
end
good,
up
but
you end up belly across the second horse, and one foot is caught in a stirrup on the other horse. So I will give you that you can probably still see across, but at this point, you're horsing around there, bud. Like the animal handling check is starting to go downhill. Like they were okay with you getting on top of them, but then this happens, and so they're starting to get restless. So you get one attack without being interrupted by the horses freaking out, and then it's going to go downhill on subsequent turns.
it's
Right.
it's a good thing. It's just a good thing this isn't the main event.
Right. And General had like his loot out in his hands, so he like didn't have any hands to catch himself. So laying there
You
using
hear the
his
El Kabong noise as he lands on the back of this horse.
yes. And so he's laying there across the stall on his belly, and he just raises his loot up in the power cord. He's gonna try casting Dissonant Whispers at Blondie.
Okay.
Here comes the nat 20.
What do I got to do? Is it a wisdom?
Wisdom, I believe. Sorry, I always have to check because it doesn't say.
I just never know which one of those are wisdom and charismas and stuff.
He fails.
He fails.
And that
And he
means
takes
he
10.
flees. He must immediately use his reaction to move as far away from me as possible.
He will go this
Does
way.
that mean I get a attack of opportunity on him?
I'm willing to say sure.
Because he's not being moved by a shove or
Yeah,
something.
he's not being shoved. He's moving, but I'm not sure the rules there.
Do you know why that worked? They shared a cigar, and now Jamrel has a little piece of Rathian. Sharing a little bit of that dark soul.
He got some grit last night.
That's it.
Okay, I'll give you the attack of opportunity because at this point I really don't care. But I need Longtooth to decide whether he wants to make one, and he needs to do 6 damage to kill this guy.
Yeah, he wants to do one. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
26 for
Oh, this guy gets his skull caved in and then dies on the pike.
Yeah, we're gonna have him
17
10 foot away from Longtooth and get piked down right there, right in front of his friends.
I like to imagine that he like got concussed by the mace shot to the head and was already
There
on
was-
his way to the ground.
Yeah, there was like a good stumble, and he kind of goes down to one knee, and then the spear comes through his right next to his shoulder and out the front, and then he kind of falls down at the door there.
Great job, fellas. Just what I wanted.
That's going to do wonders for the guy who's already scared of y'all, and he's going to make the most terriblest crossbow attack ever from back here in the next room. And roll a 5 and end his turn, and it'll be Longtooth's turn. The bottleneck has been opened up. It is free season.
Yeah. So there's 1, 2.
Oh, you have double your movement too.
Yeah, I'm just.
He's tracking it because he's going to try to kill everybody in one round.
Yeah, I mean, if he can. Do you want to do some dynamic lighting? Because I have no idea which room that guy went into.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't see it when I'm on my GM mode. I should watch the stream more often. That door is open, and he shot through it. The other 2 doors are closed.
Gotcha. Okay. He's going to attack this woman next to him. As a bonus action, the ghost of his son hops from Blondie onto the woman, and he attacks. I'm assuming she's also wearing splint.
Correct. They're, for all intents and purposes, the same creature.
All right, so she gets hit once for a total of 10 points of damage.
Okay. That is the first time she has been hit. Now, it would be that guy's turn, but instead it's Cazador's.
So after having been stabbed, Cazador looks down at her sword wound, back up at this lady, just gives her a big and time to stab.
Punch it. No. No.
No. Yes.
Yes.
Ah!
9 piercing damages.
Lightning pig claws.
Yeah.
Yup. She is barely hanging on, but still alive.
Yeah, I'm gonna get her. I'm gonna come up right under the jaw.
Just keep holding on there or hit and recoil back.
I don't actually want to grapple her, but thematically
Okay.
I'm holding on.
Got it. Rathian, the bottleneck has broken.
All right. I can't control my token for some reason. Oh, yeah, I'm
You
not.
have the wrong tool selected.
Yes, I do. Derp. All right. I'm going to step there. I'm going to take the attack action. And for my first attack, I am actually going to use the shove attempt. So I'll make an athletics check of a 22, and she needs to beat it with either a 22 athletics or acrobatics. And I will choose to knock her prone.
She critical fails, despite the fact she's actually got a +5 to athletics.
So-
And
Rathian is going to step up and just uppercut her with his shield and take her right off of her feet.
yep, she's
That's
going to do that,
awesome.
like tries to step back, but there's so much up force that she kind of misses the ground with that foot and just topples over and into the doorway that she came out of, basically.
And then second attack with advantage because she is prone for 8 bludgeoning.
Sweet.
And then I am going to smite her.
15 damage total. She is splayed out across the floor, but still alive, and it is her turn. So she's going to stand up. I don't even know why I put that token on her. She's going to stand up. She still had her crossbow out until you knocked her down, and that went clattering across the floor. So she's just going to whip out a short sword and swing at you, because you hit her last. Disadvantage 4 and 11.
Oh, dice.
Loom.
All right. So Illum is thrilled to be able to get forward and to do something. I think she steps forward. That's what, 15? 5, 10, 15. Wait.
Yeah, ish.
Ish. Okay, 15. And then she says, where's Cazador? And sees the door open, I think is going to try to, let's see. Oh, she can't make it all the way to there.
As you hear the sound of ferocious battling.
Yeah,
going-
so
there's
she,
like
yeah, I think she
Cazador
just
bite
steps.
noises from the
Right.
next room.
Right. So she steps there and just she's sort of, she does one of these things where she's sort of looking into the other room, but then is going to cast her Eldritch Blast at this lady in front of her.
Do it.
How about a 13 or a 13 to hit? Yeah.
Nope.
I know I didn't have advantage, but that's going to miss. Damn it.
I love that Illum is consistently looking for Cazador to no avail.
Exactly.
The lady in front of you, because anything else, Illum?
That was action and movement. I don't. Oh no, I guess she is. She is gonna go another 10 feet down and try to figure this out. Oh, there she is.
Yep, found her. You come around a corner right as somebody swings a longsword at her and critically misses. That's like my 4th or 5th critical miss. That's pretty great.
We don't mind.
I mean, y'all probably wish I would have saved him for the dragon fight, but Zook.
Zook will stand up and go over here because, over here because that's what his movements allows him. And he sees, I can see one of the enemies. Aha, just barely. Gonna shoot her twice with my Prism of Zapper.
Do it. In this, please. I was expecting the bathroom break to be 20 minutes ago.
So a 17 and a 21 to hit.
Both of them hit. The first attack is going to do 15, and the second
Holy
attack,
shit.
16, and the second one's going to do 15.
Zook's stepping up as a DPS tonight.
You take her down. And at half of them going down, I actually have a story input. So Jamrel timeout on your turn, and I'll let you decide from here, because Rathian is maybe a little bit of Zook. Rathian and Zook, you're going to see this. As she goes down, the guy in the next room just throws his crossbow to the ground and starts trying to do like the world's saddest freaking push-up. Right? And so he's straining, and the lady can't see that they've lost, but she's scrambling to fight and get away from Cazador, and she's going to chuck her weapon down as well as Cazador just goes animal style on her. And so the guy is given up, and the woman is basically, we're going to thematically say that she stumbles backwards and kind of trips over herself and is basically begging Cazador to stop. So they are going to ask y'all to stop murdering them, please.
Since it's Jermo's turn, he is going to immediately kind of roll off of the stall and move forward to
I forgot
where
you were on horses. I'm sorry.
Blondie went down, and he'll try to make a medicine check to stabilize him if that's even possible.
Sure. Longtooth did a number on him. Give me higher than a 15. I'll let you have him alive.
Nope.
Longtooth knew what he was doing. When
Yeah,
he stabbed him.
Longtooth is
running away.
good at his job.
So Jamrel's just kind of looking around without a word to anyone, just glancing back and forth to all the downed, people in here, trying to help him.
You run in and you try to medicine this guy, and when you're like, nope, I lost this one, you look over at the woman, and like she's splayed out too, and there's a pool of blood starting to spread, and that's when you look up slightly past her and see the guy in the next room like, 3. Please don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me. We give up, please.
Well, I think we've won, everyone. Pose to the rest of the group.
Nope.
This was
Well,
an unfortunate confrontation.
You guys can't even hear it in the other room. That
Yeah.
fight's just going to keep happening.
I'm finishing this gal off.
Okay, go ahead and take your next turn.
Her weakness is disgusting to me.
She's prone, so the first one's going to hit. The second one's going to miss. That's 9 damage. And another miss. You leave her at single-digit hit points.
Longtooth goes to this guy in this corner room and says, I may be seeing my family today. I don't want the stain of your soul upon my body. Leave while you can.
Cazador, perhaps, Cazador, Bloom will try to pull Cazador, like, sort of snap Cazador out of her bloodlust.
Push-up guy is basically going to kind of fall on his face as he's cowering from Longtooth, and he's like, yes, I'll leave. It's fine. I'll just take the horse and go. You guys can deal with the dragon and whatever you want.
Yeah, he grabs him by the scruff of the neck and kind of pushes him on his way. Like, enough talk. Get to it. Get out of here.
He's going to scramble over there and start trying to take the horse from the second stall. Do the rest of y'all join in on this killing that Cazador is doing, or do y'all watch it happen? What's the plan?
Alum
here?
is actively trying to stop her.
Okay.
And Jamrel will help Alum.
Let's play that out then.
Cazador looks over her shoulder and just, why? They would kill us in a second if they had the chance.
They know not what they do.
Look at them. They've done this to plenty of people, and they'll do it to plenty more.
Mercy is not weakness, Cazador.
You want to tell that to Vera? You want to tell that to Rathian?
Damn.
I was already typing Vera in chat, so I'm so glad she said that.
Well, again, we are all still here, and whatever they choose to be in this life is their own choice. But for here, they are beaten.
If I take her life now, the blood is on my hands, but whatever they do after this, the blood is on yours.
Listen to your friends. Listen to your friends.
I'd remain quiet if I were you. And I'm just gonna breeze past her into this room.
In this room, there is a single wooden chair set, and then there's like I said, there's a barrel next to it that has the lantern on top of the barrel, but stuff's been stacked up so that the light doesn't go too far. And you can tell that this is where she presumably sits and watches out the arrow slits to see and saw y'all approaching. There is a cold fireplace in the southern section of the room there that's not had a fire in it for probably some time.
What is this feature that I'm standing next to that's in the wall? Is that a door?
That's a door. Sorry, dynamic lighting is fun.
A loom sort of like kind of looms over this other woman and says, "You have been squarely defeated, and we will show you mercy. In fact, if you have any information regarding the dragon that you wish to share with us, we may even allow you to take your compatriots' bodies with you, should you care to." So it's kind of an mild intimidation check to get her to spill some beans if they know anything.
She's gonna say, "Look, we don't know too much about the dragon. We tracked it. We followed it here. I mean, dragons mean treasure hoards, so seemed like an easy way to make money since jobs."
Easy.
I mean, yeah, just wait for it to leave. It's got to eat sometime, and then once you see it leave, go steal the treasure. Easy.
Do you have anything that can help us?
So you're nothing more than thieves, then?
I mean, more like opportunists. We're sellswords or mercenaries when there's work, but we haven't found too much, so we came west from Tribor, and we got to town, and everyone's talking about this dragon, and we're like, why spend time and effort working for farmers to get gold pieces counted out one at a time under a fucking door when we could just steal from a dragon?
Yeah, or other adventurers, because it sure seemed like you were about to just casually murder us for our stuff.
Well, you were up here trying to
Talk to
take
you.
our prize.
Gave you several opportunities to chat it out.
Nothing to be gained through this. Your leader, where is he and what is his name?
I will actually have to look for his name. She tells you he went to town to pick up supplies. I don't remember the guy's name, and it's not actually on this page. It's on another
Can we
page.
safely assume it's the dude we saw in town?
It's definitely that guy. His name's Dobbin. Dobin.
If we come across you again, you die first.
Okay, just let me go.
Leave.
She's going to scramble, and she's going to try to take the horse from the fourth stall.
She doesn't seem to care about the bodies.
Longtooth is much more frightening than you were like, hey, yeah, you can have the bodies of your friends. She's more like, if I mess up sometime in the next 10 minutes trying to get those bodies, one of these people, like there's 3 stabby people and one
Right.
trying to be nice people. So
Plus, she's still magically terrified for a little longer.
This is true. So I suppose we let them go and then see what these other 2 cats had on their person.
all of them had long swords and short swords. So there are 4 of each of those, and there are 4 heavy crossbows. Money isn't particularly going to matter, but I can roll some money after the break.
No, I was more curious if they had like any potions or anything.
Nope.
I will be taking a heavy crossbow, their bolts, and one of their suits of armor.
Okay, do
Nice.
that thing. I'll also go ahead and give you the rooms in this guard house for the castle before we do our break and move into the next building. So the bottom room where the guy was doing push-ups is where they've set up like their bedrolls and stuff are in there, and that's where they had made a small fire and where the heat was coming from. Most of the rotted furniture and stuff has been pushed to the walls of the room. The room on the left of the map There's another fireplace in there. It looks like it was a smithy or somewhere where somebody would work with tools, because there's a bunch of scattered horseshoes and rusted hammers and stuff on the floor. The other small room is just a storage closet that's full of a bunch of crates and barrels, and they are so brittle that if you touch them, they basically fall apart. And there's like, really old rice and other stuff in there. But let's go ahead and take a real life break. And are you guys taking a short rest? Yeah. Let's go ahead and short rest here and come back in 10 minutes. How about?
All right.
All right.
Alrighty.
And we are back. Our team has taken a precarious short rest in the gatehouse of the fortress at Icespire Peak, and now makes preparations before heading into, I assume, the main fortress. So what do you all do?
Regain my spell slot. That's the most important thing.
On break.
Wish that I got that second level spell slot back for that horrible inflict wounds.
I'm actually going to try to look out this arrow slit here to see if there's any lights coming from the main thing, especially from up above, because if we're going to have to cross over to it, don't want an assault from above.
Yeah, Alum would have been keeping an eye on the two riders to make sure that they actually just like got their way out eventually.
They did. During your break, you could watch down the mountain as they hastily head down. Cazador, give me a perception check, just for funsies, if you haven't already. You have not. That's pretty dang good.
That was so fun.
21.
You hear the wind. You hear the hooves of the horses as they head down the mountain. There's a lovely echo that comes back up from time to time. You can just kind of catch it on the wind that whips through here. And other than that, not much of anything.
Don't see anything from the other side?
So the building across from you is 2 stories up from, there's the floor you're on and one above it. To your far left, the map south, is the destroyed tower. The tower on the north is completely built up and still intact. And you do not see any activity aside from those riders. And then once they're gone, it's just y'all up here.
I suppose if it made sense, I could probably get myself up onto that ledge there where that tower has been destroyed.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. Perhaps to have 2 lines of attack, or perhaps just scout ahead.
No, you'll make yourself obvious. You'll draw any fire there is to draw.
I'll go first. And with that, Longtooth is going to open this door, step past Rathian, and stalk his way across the bridge to this other door. That's the plan.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead.
Rathian's not going to let that happen. He's right behind you.
And I'm
Jump
using
back to the
Rathian
map.
as cover.
Nice. We're going to go ahead and jump back to the map so the stream can go see what's going on. And I'm deleting all the dynamic lighting that is no longer important.
Man, I really hope there's not a dragon on the other side of this door, because we are all lined up.
So as we approach,
Actually, yeah, that's true. I would hold back.
so right as we approach, Zook would go to a loom and draw out this metallic wand that ends with a butterfly design, and hand it over. Here, take this.
Oh, what is this?
And as you hold it, you see that it's between the wings. There's a slight shift of electricity.
Ooh.
I think it will help you channel your powers.
Yeah, she's like instinctively already detecting magic without even sort of realizing it. Like, oh, this seems quite powerful. Thank you, my
Yeah.
friend.
I made it earlier. I thought it might be useful. You know, we're gonna fight the dragon. We might need something like that. So, you have that. And try not to die, okay?
She takes the wizard hat off of her head and puts it on Zook's head.
Oh.
It suits you.
Thanks.
You look
It was,
taller.
yeah. It's more of my brother's thing. I was never as good as him with that, but it's kind of nice.
So Longtooth kicks open this door, and you all are all in a straight line. And Skeletal Vera casts Lightning Bolt. It's a 10-foot long hallway that just ends with another door at the other end, and both to the north and to the south, there are arrow slits. And if you look through the arrow slits, you can see hallways in the walls.
He'll listen at the door.
Okay. Was that your perception check? That was your perception check. Sweet. You hear flapping noises.
Like little flapping noises or like big leathery wings of death flapping noises? Because those are two different flapping noises.
If you had to ballpark it closer to like a bat than that thing that almost killed you that time.
Okay, well, he's willing to accept that.
Okay.
Small wings. Maybe little dragons?
Let's hope this thing isn't a mama.
He will crack the door open.
Okay. Shields, weapons, and tapestries once festooned the walls here, but you can see that they've all been ripped down and kind of kicked against the walls. They're just scattered everywhere. This place is a wreck. It looks like a whole band of orcs came through here and turned this into their living quarters. And it's probably 15, 20 feet high, and up in the ceiling, in the rafters, there are 3 small leathery looking things flying around. Give me a nature check. That's good enough. They are sturges.
16. Oof.
You're muted, Clay.
Am I? I'm just whispering. He says, Sturgis, I hate these things.
God's damned bugs.
So they're like 15, 20 feet up, you said?
Yeah, I mean, they haven't noticed you yet, and they haven't come down, but they're moving around, so it ranges 15 to 20 feet or so. If you wait long enough, one of them might come down out of the rafters, but...
I think we can get by them.
Yeah, so basically, Longtooth will sneak in, readying to attack one of these things that comes within reach of it. Right? I mean...
Okay, give me a stealth check.
Show. It's like that.
Okay.
Like a
24.
ghost's whisper.
So you can make it in. Once you are in the room, you can see that there is the second door there. There is a big fireplace with a mantle that used to have stuff on it, but it looks like it looks like the orcs got bored and just kind of hacked at it whenever they were feeling like it, because it's a wooden mantle across the top. So several good axe hacks into it. And you have another door.
I'll open the door and try and get out.
Okay. So with that stealth check, I'm going to say that you get all the way to the door before they notice you and start to come your way, and you're able to open the door and step into the next room and close the door if you want.
How about he'll go into the room and still hold on to his ready action to stab at one of these things as it comes flying down.
Okay. You open the door and step in, and it is a hallway. There are 2 doors to the south and another door to your west and a flat wall to the east.
Yep. I'm good.
Do you keep the door open?
Again, he's readying his action to kill one of these things when it comes flying down towards him.
Since you are still within sight, they are going to dive bomb you, and we will we'll have them move to you and attack, and then we'll roll initiative at that point to see what everybody else does. So go ahead and make an attack.
Okay. Is this my ready action that we're talking about?
Yes, it is. It's going to be super easy, y'all.
15 hit?
Yeah, you just murdered that thing.
Okay.
I'm gonna, why is my thing messing up? Go ahead and roll some initiative just so I can see if one of these things gets a hold of y'all. For some reason, they all rolled on the GM layer like jerks.
Go, Rathian, save us.
I already took my crossbow shot.
Did you? Yes, you did. Okay, then that's going to kill one as well. And you're left with one of them dive bombing Longtooth right as it becomes Rathian's first official turn. What do? You kill it. Good job. You passed that entirely grueling combat. I am so proud of all of you.
Target practice.
So
Natural
Longtooth stabs one, and the other two get shot down. It's like clay pigeon shooting. You get them both, and they kind of just sputter into the ground and land at Longtooth's feet. And you have these 3 giant mosquito-looking things.
With the heavy crossbow, Rathian clears the room like he's a Black Ops guy.
Okay, give me a perception check. Rathian and Cazador.
I've also got a passive of 16, if that helps.
Sure. I will give you that. You notice that there's a secret door right there. Looks a little off.
Bet that leads to a hallway.
I bet it does.
I'm going to try it.
Let me get that dynamic lighting for you. Let me not, because they did not actually code it as a removable door, so I'm going to just throw you over there.
Cool.
And Illum's already over there, I guess?
Yeah, she was sort of checking these 2 side corridors. Unless those were arrow slits.
Those were arrow
Those were arrow
slits,
slits.
and you couldn't fit through them.
All right, never mind. So she would just look into those rooms and then follow everyone else.
Okay.
But is there a secret door open now?
There is.
Yes.
I can't delete the
But
dynamic
it's like
lighting.
right here.
Yeah, I will bring it to the token layer so that y'all can see where the door's at.
Right on. And Cazador went down that hall?
Correct. And General, it is in fact dark in here. There are no lights, so y'all need to bring your own light sources.
I will light up a torch. Unless there's objections.
Nope.
Is
Light the
Cazador
torch.
down here?
Just keep it at the back of the group so we're in the dim light.
Illum says quietly, Cazador, don't go wandering off on your own.
Let me make sure.
Hallway.
It is in fact a
Listening
hallway.
at the door.
You don't hear anything. Same thing for all of you in the Longtooth Rathian hallway. There are 3 doors, and listening gives you nothing.
I'm going to open this one.
Okay. Cazador, do you open your door as well?
Nope, we're going to rejoin the group.
Okay.
I'm stuck in this hallway.
Yeah, you are.
You can go through the light, the
arrow
Okay.
slit.
arrow
All right.
slit.
Cazador, Rathian, you open, and this is a dining room. There used to be like a big, crazy, fancy table in here with a large hearth at one side, but orcs have completely trashed everything in here, going as far as to pull down, there was 2 chandeliers, and they've cut the chains and ropes and yanked them down, and they're scattered across the ground, and all the chairs and everything are basically just smashed up, and in the fireplace, there is a little bit of leftover charred wood, like they were using the furniture for fires here before a certain dragon kicked them out.
Clear.
As soon as
door.
Illum catches up to Longtooth, she'll go ahead and place light on the spear.
Sweet. I feel like I just took that off his token. Let me dynamic lighting real quick, guys. I got multiple levels of things I have to juggle.
Take your time.
Same room.
That's the dining room that you saw.
I'll investigate the dining room.
Sure. Jamro, you also notice a secret door right next to you there. It leads into the other hallway if you don't feel like going down it. Stand by. Calm down. I got to program light. Jamro, when you open the secret door, you see this door here. Cool. And then I'll move you back.
Gotcha.
Sweet. Let me clear out this initiative order that we don't need no more. Let's do Longtooth has a normal light, which is what, 40-20?
Yep.
Actually, Longtooth has a magical light.
Oh, yeah, magical.
I'll just put it on his spear, but yes, I think it's 24.
That's what I meant. Rathian's, damn it. Longtooth's token is currently emitting 40-20.
Okay.
Okay, sweet. And then y'all opened the door in the dining room?
Listen first and then open.
You hear nothing except the air whooshing through the chimney to the fireplace behind you.
All right.
Cold wind whipping.
I'll crack it open.
This appears to be the kitchen. Everything in here is kind of destroyed and messed up too. There is bits of rotting food left over and destroyed cookingware, utensils, an old dented pot, and cauldron.
Clear.
Yeah, I think the three of us are going to be like poking around that fireplace and.
Okay, poking around the fireplace. How?
Like checking along the mantle, looking within the belly of it.
You guys give it a good pat down. It's the fireplace. Their orcs were definitely snapping legs off of chairs and using this area to kind of stay warm. Between the dining room and the big room that you first entered, it looks like this is where they were mostly living. The kitchen is where they were kind of eating and hanging out or whatever, but this is where they must have bedded down before the dragon kicked them out of here. Rathian, you clearing this next door?
Yep.
You should have sight. Cazador, did you have anything before? Okay. I saw you going back to secret doors. I just wanted to make sure.
No, I was just looking around because the lighting makes it impossible to do anything without moving.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to clear this door as well.
It's more fun than me having to manually select each room. But you find a pantry, sir. This room has been ransacked, leaving nothing but smashed shelves, broken barrels, torn sacks, and other detritus lying around. Amid the detritus, the characters find the skeletal remains of a male humanoid clad in a rusty breastplate.
That's this room here?
That is the tiny closet north of the kitchen, yes.
I assume that this door goes to that other hallway, so I'm just going to pass it.
Okay.
I'm going to clear this door. Am I right?
I'm going to note that when you step into this room, the first thing you notice is to your left was what used to be one of those wooden doors with the iron binds across it, and it has completely been blown off its hinges and, in fact, snapped in half and is laying on the floor there. So there's that.
Listening intently.
Yep. So you open this room, and it looks like it used to be like whoever ran this castle, like this was their room kind of room. It's a big, fancy kind of bedroom that's got its own fireplace at one end. And let's see what you find in here. There are 3 humanoid skeletons in rusty suits of chainmail lying on the floor near rusty longswords. A 4th human skeleton in rusty plate mail is slumped on the chair that faces the fireplace. There is a steel goblet lying on the floor between the legs of this figure.
Found the Holy Grail, guys. It's done.
Watch the stairs. I'm going to clear this hallway. And I'm going to peek around the corner without exposing myself.
Cazador, give me a perception check while you're in there. Or actually just give me a d6. Roll above a 3. Okay, nope.
How about
Carry on.
no?
Yep, 2 1s in a row.
I'm
You don't
determined
get
to roll
nothing.
one.
Yep. All right, so Rathian, you step out over the broken, splintered door, and there is another door from the south that has been knocked inward. When you look out that way, you can see the ruined tower of Let me adjust the stream slightly so they can see what's going on. Thank you.
I'm just going to move just so I can sit.
Yep. There's what used to be the other tower of the southern corner, and it's been completely broken and destroyed, and bits of it have scattered across the floor and presumably down the mountainside. But there is a bunch of big claw marks on the floor right here, and B, this door has also been blown inward. Something came in, went through this door, and then through the door where Zook and Cazador are standing. In the room that you are currently in, there is there's a lot of filth. It's pretty disgusting in here. All the furniture that used to be in here has basically been fed to the fireplace. And there's a couple of bedrolls on the ground and other stuff kind of stacked up and around. It looks like all the stuff that the orcs had when they lived here. This was their main bunk room.
Dragon was here. He's just going to go look around and then come back.
Yes, my friends, I am feeling in my heart that this dragon is going to be below. She's kind of looking down that spiral staircase.
That long tooth is creeping down.
Two things. That staircase goes up.
Dang it.
And it has claw marks all up the insides of it.
Well, my friends, perhaps it is above us.
I mean, I feel like I gave
right.
you a vision of a dragon on a roof. And
Sure, that's true. I wasn't keeping that in mind. Yep.
Let's use take 2.
okay,
Yep.
so stairs
Dragon
go up.
was here.
It must be up there.
Keeping this all in. Up the stairs, unanimously, cool.
Yep.
Because I have to drag y'all to another portion on the map, and I don't want to do that if you're not
Stealthily?
already. Stealthily.
Yep.
Yes.
Y'all
I
gonna
think
use
at this point that is the MO.
Nobody touch your tokens. I'm dragging you.
Knowing that we are now approaching the dragon and not just clearing out the tower, Rathian's going to go back to letting Longtooth take point.
I'm gonna put y'all all in
So
this room,
quiet.
but I cannot.
Zook with the nat 20.
He's on
Ooh.
Shamro's back.
Ooh. I'm right there with you, man.
I'm too lazy to move
Almost.
all your tokens back into the stairwell. Let me get the stream over there before we continue, because I'm managing multiple windows here, and I feel like dynamic lighting failed me, and y'all can see the damn dragon. So, spoilers: there's a dragon in this adventure.
I don't think it's going to affect what we're doing.
Yeah. You've got one room and then a door that leads you out onto the roof. So this room, where did my thing go?
This is a boss room.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of ammo crates and a few health potions. And you're like, wait a minute.
Sweet.
There's a
As soon as we
safe.
walk through, a steel gate comes down behind us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's auto saving.
I put a dynamic lighting line in here so that y'all couldn't see through the arrow slits until I was ready for I look out the arrow slits, and dynamic lighting it did not work for me. Okay. You come into this room, you come up the stairs, and you're being super stealthy, except for Longtooth. And you come into this room, and there's not much in here. There is a couple of chairs, and there's a few other pieces of fancy looking furniture, like a wall locker and stuff like that. But right in the center of this room, there is a big two-handed war axe laying on the ground. And that's the first thing you notice when you walk in here. This massive battle axe.
Illum waves her hand and sees if it's radiating any magic.
It does not appear to be magic, but as you get closer to it, you can see that from the wrist up, there is an orc hand still clutching it. And it's just like, that little bit of skin, and then the bone sticks out a few inches longer than the flesh.
Nice.
And there's an orcish hand still gripping onto this weapon.
This was presumably the war chief.
And as the group of y'all come out of the stairwell and get into the room proper, you can see that in these northern two nooks, There are several rotting heads, dwarves, humans, and actually a couple of orcs as well. And they're some of them are on spikes, some of them are just like set up on top of like dressers and stuff like that. But a bunch of random furniture. The axe is in here. There's a few other things that looks like this orc claimed as trophies, but then probably about a half dozen heads. A couple of nice furs are draped over, like some chairs. There's a few like skulls with the antlers still on them of some kind of deer or elk. Yeah. And there's one really fancy looking chair, but it's missing an arm.
I suppose I'll investigate the pile real quick.
Okay. You check all this stuff, and most of it seems like garbage, especially the rotting heads. But there is one fancy chair, like I said. An arm has been ripped off of it, but the back of it is really fancy. It's carved in a way that there's almost like waves in the wood, and then there are separate pieces of wood that's been worked into it, and they look like red coral design that kind of weaves up the back of this chair. And you think if you tried hard enough, you could probably work them out without breaking them.
They look valuable, but they're not radiating magic.
They're not magic, but it's really good craftsmanship, and you could probably ditch them independently or as a set for money.
Cool.
Well, that sounds like a great trophy. I think Jammer will try it.
Volunteer to sneaking out onto the rooftop.
Perhaps we can do that later.
Oh, sure.
Okay. Sweet. We're gonna have that. Let me adjust the map screen here so that the whole boss fight can be on screen. Because what you have is there are two chimneys directly in front of you. You assume that the big room and the master bedroom lead up to them. And then out across the frozen stone of this walkway, you see, or this rooftop, you see the other three chimneys over there. And the only reason that I tell you that is to avoid having to get immediately into describing the elephant-sized white dragon that is snoozing there casually and looking off to the west. Let me add that token. Add that token. It's just on the wrong layer. So there snoozeth your dragon. You have successfully not cast any thunder waves or had a super loud and annoying fight somewhere where it would have woken it up. So it is currently sleeping.
Lawsuit has a special top secret plan that involves sneaking over to the dragon and pinning it to the roof with spear.
Okay. This roof is really windy. The stones are really icy and slick. And you notice, this is important, there's no lead or no wall on the ledges where the two towers collapsed. So that's the scene here.
No problem.
Okay, just letting you know.
What's the worst thing that could happen?
I'm just throwing it out there.
So for anyone that's listening but can't see the chat, Jamrel just gave Cazador Bardic Inspiration.
Thank you. Would you like to make a stealth check?
Yeah. Sure.
And Zook takes the potion of invulnerability.
Right before Longtooth stealths away to go attack it, Rathian's going to reach his hand out and pat him on the shoulder and tell him, "See you on the other side, brother." And then he's going to cast Heroism on him.
Nice.
There's a lot of manhandling happening in this boss fight.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shoot. One other thing is that once... Illumina's going to stay as close to Cazador as she can once she realizes that we're getting close to this moment, so that as soon as things go sideways, she's going to cast haste on Cazador this time.
They're not going to go sideways. They're going to go off the edge of this building and down the mountain.
And Cazador, knowing that this is all going to happen, kind of leans back and tells everyone, remember, stay spread.
Rathian, roll me 2d20. Clay, we also cannot see you.
I'm sneaking.
Okay. Just letting you know that it's
2 18s has to count for something.
Yep. 2 18s means that the dragon's eye is going to open right as Longtooth steps next to it and prepares to strike. You get that, like, the ice on the stones cracks just enough that you are pulling back and striking, and it wakes up. It is not awoken as it gets stabbed. It is able to... It's not asleep when you attack it, basically.
Dang it.
It's prone.
It's prone, right?
Right.
I'll take the advantage.
Yeah. So we're going to roll initiative for the big bad boss fight of the Dragon of Icespire Peak. Which means...
And Clay, you'll get 4 temporary hit points at the end of every turn.
Ooh.
My surprise for the evening is behind me.
Oh, man. He's got a fancy wallpaper. Look at him go.
Nice. There it is. There's the dragon.
The dragon rolled a 1 on initiative, guys.
It was sleeping.
Yeah, that's thematically
I'll accept it.
That's
I'll
ridiculous. Oh my goodness. What a time for that.
Has everyone rolled initiative?
Maybe we have a chance.
Even the Cazador 8 means it is all of y'all before the dragon can go. So let's do this.
We effectively surprised a dragon. That's amazing.
You guys want me to play like boss fight music? I'll edit it into the stream. I don't know what I got on hand, but
yeah, you can put it on the YouTube video.
Yeah,
fine with me.
I don't want to shock Curtis here with random rain noises.
8-bit MIDI boss fights.
Yeah. How about that? There we go. Zook, you're up first.
Oh my.
Actually,
Okay.
Longtooth, make your attack. Zook, you're up first.
That's first.
All right, so Longtooth is going for it all. He's going to do the -5 to hit plus 10 damage. Especially seeing he has advantage right now. So here we go.
Oof.
I'm going to guess that's going to miss.
A 7 will miss a dragon, sir.
Ouch.
Zook, it's your turn.
Okay. Zook will.
Wait. Longtooth doesn't get 2 attacks?
I don't think it's a full round. I think it's just like the surprise.
It was the attack that started.
I
the fight.
apologize. Okay, thank you.
Technically, it's not a surprise round because the dragon woke up.
It hasn't moved yet.
Yeah,
Totally fair.
so-
Thank you.
So Zook will move all the way here, and he will call the ant just here,
Okay.
and it will appear, and a wave of shielding energy will emanate from it.
You
and
guys
protect
can
everyone
see the shielding energy, right?
Yes.
Sweet.
for 8 temporary hit points. Anyone in the area gets.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it.
That's my turn.
Okay. Rathian, you see your boy Longtooth draw back and swing, and the dragon brings its wing up and kind of bats the spear away, and it's go time.
Rathian will look back at Zook and nod his thanks for the extra hit points, and then he's going to move right there.
This rooftop is super icy and it is difficult terrain. If
Oh,
you attempt
shoot.
to run across at full speed, we're going to have some fun times. So let you know that you can move at half speed, or you can try not to go flying in full metal armor off the edges of this icy rooftop.
All right. In that case, I am going to go full speed because I get my paladin save bonuses.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to go here, so in case I slip, I just go into a wall down here.
Roll me a D100 and don't roll below a 50.
92! That's
work.
massive.
I will give you a full speed charge instead of making it difficult terrain.
That's right.
It's technically difficult terrain, but I'm going to let you move 15 feet and slide 15 more feet.
Nice.
Hell yeah. So he skates in, shield and mace.
Got it.
All right, and then I will take my attacks.
I'm such a great
Oh, God damn it.
That's a miss.
We're so bad at this.
You are
Oh no!
so bad
What's
at
going
this.
on with our attacks?
This night has been terrible. So yeah, I'm still sliding as I swing and just kind of go past him a little bit.
Yep. You should have aimed where he was going to be, not where he was. You swung so hard I saw you on Val's screen. A loom. You see Rathian charge off, and you recognize that it is go time.
It is. Did I get the haste off already, or do I still need to do that?
Sure.
So it is.
I care more about the story after this dragon fight than this actual dragon fight. So.
Yeah, all right. So she is just going to move to, let's see, 5, 10, 15. Well, there's other people in the way.
Pretend the dragon's just a really big sturge.
That's it. All right. So she moves forward past Cazador and turns the corner, sees the dragon, and is going to then try to, do her thing, which is to say, well, let me double check. Last one. Oh, maybe I should do that. Oh, goodness. I think we have to do that. So she goes out and she says, well, let's light things up. And how about a level 3 fireball? Somewhere over in this vicinity, so as not to roast my 2 good friends.
Okay. What's a dragon's dexterity save?
Terrible damage.
+3.
Well, not terrible. It's kind of average.
3 under.
Yeah, 3 under. It was a little bad, but so it'll take 20. Yeah, so 12 fire damage. Unless it is vulnerable, which I don't.
Ninja dragon.
I don't think it's vulnerable. Yeah,
it is not vulnerable, and it is going to kind of, as the fireball whizzes past it, and it realizes it wasn't shot directly at it, that it's going past. It will kind of just fold that wing up and shield the more vital bits from the heat wave that comes across it. Because it rolls an 18 and saves for half damage.
Yep. So that'll be 12 fire, and that's it for a little.
Where'd you drop that fireball at? Right around here?
Yeah, more or less. Just so it wouldn't far enough away that it wouldn't hit Longtooth or Rathian. And this is a large dragon, not a huge dragon.
Yeah, it's a young.
Yeah, large dragon.
It's like the size of a horse.
Just making sure.
Elephant is actually the word that the module uses. But
it's as big as the room I'm in.
Fireball's what, 25 feet, 20 feet?
20 foot radius.
20 feet. 20 feet radius.
Oh, so it is I'm going to say that that was enough to melt the ice on the ground there and is not difficult terrain.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Where you want it.
Yeah, that's about right. Just so it wouldn't have hit the 2 of them.
Sure. Not that it's going to matter, but I like cool thematic environmental things. So
right there on that corner.
Sure. Longtooth. A wave of heat washes over you as the fireball pops off.
Sure. Longtooth will continue his flanking maneuver here, and he will attack power attack again because he's got advantage. So he got to strike while the iron's hot. So here we go. Does a 14 hit?
A 14?
No. 22, because that's advantage.
Yeah, advantage. 22 does hit.
All right. Oh, crap. I forgot to cast my Hunter's Mark. 19. Then I'll cast Hunter's Mark and do it again.
Okay.
Now the second one will miss.
Yep, that's going to be a miss. Jamroll.
Don't forget to get your temporary hit points.
Yeah, I still have them from before when you first cast them, so they haven't gone down.
I think it stacks. I think you just get an additional 4 every turn.
No, it doesn't stack. It replaces.
Never stacks.
Because the same source can't stack with itself. It's always the highest source, the highest single source.
Got it.
It's still awesome because it's like regeneration.
Totally.
Jamroll's gonna be smart, y'all.
Jamroll's to the arrow
so
slit.
Smart.
Spectacular.
And he is going to look at Rathian and play just this cascade of notes that come out, and he just says, shoulder rubs. And we'll get you a bardic inspiration there. And then he is going to cast Bane on the dragon. So a charisma saving throw of 15.
Charisma.
Which it passes.
Arg.
I'm sorry.
And
man.
I'm going to relax here, end my turn.
Start taking bets in Twitch chat of who's going to get the killing blow. And whether the dragon is that person. Cazador.
All right.
You got all your makeup on. You're ready. It's go time.
And she's buzzing right now with energy.
Yes, actually, I tried to scroll up to see what haste did. Could you click on that again?
So
for
you
me?
get, yeah, sure, you bet. It gives you double movement and advantage on dexterity saving throws, as well as an extra attack. And you can you get one extra action. In that action, you can make one weapon attack, a dash, disengage, hide, or use object action.
Okay.
Very good.
Very cool. Then I am, since I've got 120 feet of movement to work with, as I'm running by, I'm going to lean down to Zook while I do my ninja run and just tell him, I'm going to leave you a hole. Light him up.
Okay.
And I'm going to
I like that you can move half speed through difficult terrain and still get there.
Sure can. All right. So here we go.
It's still prone. You have advantage on all of these.
Yeah. I'm going to
Sweet.
spend a key point. Never played a monk before. If I spend 2, do I get... I've got 2 attacks. No, I don't know what I'm talking about.
What are you trying to do? You have
I don't know.
flurry of blows or stunning strike or what?
Flurry of blows.
Yeah, you just need one.
I think she's asking if she can double flurry, which is not a
No.
thing.
Mm-mm.
No, but she can flurry plus stunning blow.
That's right.
That's what I'm
Yes.
going to do. All right. So, number 1. Bam.
Punch it right in the dragon kidney. 20 will hit for 4 piercing damage.
Sweet. And with that comes...
A couple more of those, and it might be down to double-digit hit points.
We'll come in with this one.
Oof.
25 will hit for
25
10
and a
bludgeoning.
crit!
Saved it.
Yes, it was a crit miss, but advantage means it's a crit hit for 12
Plus,
bludgeoning damage.
you get one more attack.
Nice.
I still haven't actually taken my regular
Actually, you
second
get
attack.
you get 2 more attacks.
And I'm going to spend another key point, and I'm going to try to do Stunning Strike on him. Or
Okay.
her.
It.
No, no,
It is a
no
male
judgment
dragon.
on the dragon.
Someone inspect its cloaca.
Check the plumbing.
24. Kaz is tearing it up right now.
11.
Woof.
And that means
11 damage.
so many things I'm not familiar with trying to use here.
You need a con save from me? Question
Con
mark?
save.
Yeah, I'm trying to find Stunning Strike on my thing.
Good.
It saves.
21 to
Definitely
save.
saves.
Now, right. Well, I'm going to take it with the final attack.
Before we move on to the next turn, we should draw our attention to the pun in Twitch chat.
Oh.
I need you to
Can
read
monks
it out.
travel unreasonable distances? They sure can.
Nicely done, Dandy Beyond.
Oh,
Another
hurts.
hit, 25 for 11 more piercing. Kaz just went crazy this round.
She just beat that thing stupid.
Ginsu.
Even
And
without
now-
it being prone.
How many of those were
that-
bites?
Enough. At least 2 of them.
I want to point out that even without it being prone, like if y'all had came into a fully awake, ready to fight dragon, Cazador just did 14, 25, 36 damage on her opening attack and took the dragon from like, oh, y'all are cresting 100 hit points to like, it's half dead.
As it's waking up, it's like, what's the...
Is something biting me? And with that, I am going to
Let me make
That's
sure I did my
pretty
math on
much
that right.
everything, right? Action,
I still got
bonus
some movement in
action.
me.
Do
She
you?
does.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. If I've got double movement, even on this half movement.
Shadow step.
Let me make sure that I got all of my Cazador attacks in there.
Oh. Thanks, Clay. Let's see. I'm gonna get yeah.
Okay.
Excellent.
And it
Stick
cannot,
and move.
It cannot attack you because of your monkeyness.
All of that happened in 6 seconds. It's like,
Yeah, she took the dragon from 110 hit points to 64.
Woof.
Okay.
That's the power of costuming, kids.
Apparently y'all should have been cosplaying the group of you because there would have been no dragon fight.
Yep.
All right. Well, the dragon is going to stand up, flex its wings out, and it's looking right at Rathian. Anyone want to remind me who got cold breathed last time?
it was Longtooth and a loom.
Yeah. So this freaking dragon is going to stand up and do that thing where it stretches its wings up good, and it kind of looks under its wing across at Longtooth, and then looks at Rathian and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't recognize your friend on his feet." And it's going to, at the word feet,
Does it literally say that to us?
It literally says that in common. Say, "Oh, I didn't recognize your friend standing on his feet."
But what,
and then
dragons can talk.
And then frost breath across Rathian and Cazador. I need Constitution saving throws.
Why
DC
isn't it
15.
Dex?
Zook, did you know that dragons could talk?
You moved just out of my bonus range. You don't get my...
Oh no.
Which
Oh,
would
you
have
don't need
actually saved you.
I mean, they're pretty smart, you know? It's not too surprising.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and use that bardic inspiration. I don't know if I've succeeded or not, but I'm not going to take any chances.
Okay,
I
with
feel
the
like a
inspiration, y'all succeed, and you are only going to take half damage from... I don't know if clicking this is going to roll it. It won't, so I have to manually type it.
Does Cazador have evasion or anything like that?
That's 7th level.
Oh, that's right.
It doesn't work with Constitution, though.
Oh, you're right. That's only Dex. That's true.
20 damage to both of you.
Ouch.
And he's going to stay right there. Sook, it's your turn.
Oh, okay.
This guy is gonna end up being one sad fight. Cazador, you're just too much of a monster.
I'm gonna go get over here. And I'm going to throw a fireball.
Throw the whole damn necklace.
So yeah, I have like 5 of them left, or 4 of them left. I'm gonna use 2 of them to cast a 4th level fireball.
Okay.
Dexterity saving throw on his part.
Dexterity saving throw. 3.
So 34 fire damage.
Does it get a legendary resist?
Fun fact, a young white dragon does not have layer actions or legendary actions. So you guys are just going to barbecue this thing.
Basically just a big animal.
You guys spent an hour and 10 minutes fighting 4 dudes in a hallway. And the dragon's going to get 1 turn. So it takes the full 34, bringing it down to 30 hit points even. I'm announcing them aloud so that y'all know that I'm not like doing any cheating thematically and that kind of stuff. It is at 30 hit points.
It
Anything
didn't have
else
any
on-
minions, huh?
Nope. It kicked all the orcs out of here. And I wasn't going to modify the module to be like, there's 14 albino kobolds working for this thing.
That would have been cool.
Rathian.
Rathian's just going to start swinging.
You can probably kill it if you
Oh, how about a critical hit?
Hang on.
So now you smite and like roll all of them dices.
Are you kidding me? What?
Yes.
For those listening,
Because you're the world's worst paladin.
That has got to be bugged.
You didn't channel the darkness, dude.
you forsake your god, and he waited for this exact moment to just like snicker under his breath as you're like,
God damn it.
"Raw 7."
By the power of Grayskull.
Well, hopefully that hits him.
19 does hit. Let's see. That is 12 damage. That is an extra.
There we go.
Okay.
Well, 9.
Hang on. Let me do this math individually. 12 brings him down to 18. The 7 from the smite brings him down to 11. The strike without the smite is going to do 9 damage, bringing him to 2 hit points, and the smite is going to kill him. That was an anticlimactic dragon fight, but it's not really, because Cazador was just such a badass.
Yeah,
So,
it
like,
was
Seriously.
awesome.
she has been like rifling through behind the bar counters and digging through Big Al's basement and just fucking around this whole fight. And then she's like, "Oh, dragon."
Well, I think this is it's awesome. I think when does Rathian want to describe his killing blow?
Yeah, so go ahead and give me your good killing blow like descriptor here.
So with his first strike, he is going to how do I want to kill a dragon with a mace? It's so hard to do cool. I think with the very first one, he's going to just kind of uppercut it and smite its head up in the air so that he's back. And then he's going to, as it starts to reel back in, he's just going to do a big overhand and try to catch it right in the eye with one of the flanges of his mace, and then dump that crazy god magic into its brain.
We did it.
Lots of can't help it, but like he just like, he shrugs, he comes over and he toes the corpse a couple times, make sure it's really dead.
We did it. We did it.
Pokes it a little bit.
Are we sure this was the one?
That was easy.
Yeah, I'm just going to look back at Zook and do this world's equivalent of the thumbs up, like, you enacted the plan.
Yeah.
We did the thing. Yeah, no, the dragon almost seems like it's going to say something, like it's got a follow-up comment, and Rathian just lays into it. Uppercut up, it kind of recoils back around, and it shuffles its tail around, and Longtooth, you duck as the tail swipes back across, and then as it turns its head back to Rathian to make sure that another blow is not coming, you catch it and like knock a tooth out of this fucking thing, and it like slumps to the ground, and like one of the claws rakes again past Longtooth and rakes past Rathian and is death throes, and it squirms for a second and then falls still, and y'all are left on this awkwardly silent like top of this fortress.
Oh, it's not silent. Alum is literally like jumping up, like this is the most animated you've probably seen her. She's literally jumping up and down, like saying,
Yep.
"We did it! We did it! That was amazing! I can't believe we did it!"
Act like you've been there before, kid.
And she's like got her mask off and like she's like waving it around and ancestors be praised. You were all magnificent.
What an amazing strike.
I got nothing. Like, I don't have a cool speech prepared or whatever, because y'all just stomped my dragon. So
He's got like pages of dragon text that he was going to say between the turns.
yeah, no, the dragon had at least 4 more comments, because it's a white dragon, so like it's supposed to be like brutish and dumb, and so like it's not going to be clever with any of its insults, but it was going to talk smack and it was going to do stuff. And again, it's not even my fault for making the dragon prone, because Cazador wrecked it even without the advantage. She did like 47 damage without the crit.
There was only one miss if she had no advantage. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It occurs to me that I would look really good in white dragon scale armor.
Indeed you would.
Have something to live for again, do we?
This will make the finest trophy you've ever had. And Alum goes in the other room and gets the battle axe and comes back out with the battle axe and hands it to Rathian and says, "Would you like to do the honors? We should bring the head back to town."
Whack!
Oof. And then she's like, she was backing away before that, I think.
It's about to get red up on the ceiling.
Yeah.
And he'll put it on the hook on the back of his horse like Witcher 3.
Well, we have 2 new horses downstairs as well.
And I'm sure they're going to love having a dead dragon head attached to them.
We'll use my found steed for that.
So, friends, all the tales tell of the hordes of dragons. We need to search around.
I've been looking around up here. If there's nothing immediately obvious, I have another idea.
Lots of waves that waves them off, and he's going to start skinning this thing, right? I mean, he's serious about white dragon scale armor.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Go for it. You can have all the dragon scales you want from this thing. Cazador, there's no dragon horde up here. It is a frozen roof.
We had an uninspected hallway down there. I'm going to go back and inspect that hallway.
Yeah, Alum will take one of the teeth and then follow Cazador.
For everybody that's still on the roof here, Rathian's going to walk over to Jamrel and hand him the dragon head and a cigar and tell him to go be the hero.
He's all
Yeah, it's a little bit heavy for him. Luckily, he can maybe jam it between the drum and his side, so it just sticks there to his back. And
I'm coming for you, Cazador.
yeah, he's got.
Hang on.
He smokes a little bit, takes a few drags, and he begins to play a song as we come to a rest. If there's nothing else.
Well, we got a horde to find.
So wait for that.
There might be no horde. Maybe he's too young. Maybe he didn't have a time to collect something. I don't know.
Fair. Where's there's Kaz. I'm trying to find Kaz.
I'm gonna do a little bit of hand waving here to let you know that there's not actually too much dragon horde treasure or anything, because it's a dumb brute of a white dragon who only recently moved in here, and he's mostly been focusing on food rather than amassing treasure. So there's no super, you beat the module, here's your final reward, because it's supposed to kind of end at this fight. And
well, we got dragon scales.
Right. Your reward is going back to town and being the heroes. So since it's already technically our end point, I want to let you know that it's not a matter of searching all the hallways you missed. There's nothing. Something here.
There's nothing to find.
No fair.
There is secret stairs that Cazador finds that go down. I will go ahead and rip the dynamic lighting off and show you that there is a crypt under the fortress. Basically, y'all find that and can stomp through there. If I find my
crypt, you say?
I got the wrong tool selected. Yes, it's technically an undercroft, but I think this is really important to roleplay out because there's opportunities to be had here. You see it over here?
Yeah.
Sweet. She comes down the stairs, and there are 3 doors in this room, and above each of them, the center stone above the door, chiseled in common, is just the word crypts. And then there's rough-hewn passages, and in each of those passages, you see unmarked stone caskets. If y'all pop open any of these caskets, it's going to be the same rusty armor and weapons of the bodies you saw upstairs. Behind the scene look here, This fortress was actually kind of like a guard post because it can see the surrounding area. And there was a warlord up here and her like detachment of soldiers. But then there was a particularly bad winter where they all starved to death because they got snowed in and they couldn't get out and they all died. The orcs found it and kind of moved in and were chumming up the place. And then the dragon moved into the area and was looking for somewhere to stay and found a really cold, really nice place to live and scared the orcs off. So these are the tombs of the original guard detachment here. None of them actually contain any super great treasure of any kind. But down here in the bottom, Cazador finds all of the pieces to make a couple of toboggans. Y'all know what a toboggan is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Cazador is the one that figures this out because she's
It's
the
a
first
sled.
one. Yeah, she's the first one to get down there. She has like fold out sleds, and then she finds the back of a secret door and opens it, and there's a ledge, and it's just straight down the mountain. And so I just want to leave you with
That's epic.
where this ends. Y'all can literally jump on a bunch of sleds and haul ass down the mountain.
Well, I don't know that we would leave the horses though.
I'm just
least the
saying
loom
that
wouldn't want to.
that's an option that's on the table here, and I think it's hilarious.
It's excellent. I think some of us would do that, and then the others would take the horses.
Zook would definitely do that.
Just
Me-
because I would
We'll
doesn't
see you
mean
at
I'm
the
going
bottom.
to.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll see
So-
you down below.
Just one big dragon-sized sled. We just slide the headless dragon into town.
All right. So Jamrel had something for us, right?
Yeah. So this is officially the end of the module, and we're going to go into our outro roleplay. And then again, reminder that we're stopping here, but that the kit comes with codes for anyone who's looking at buying the kit. The kit comes with codes for stuff on D&D Beyond, and there are additional adventures that follow this up that will take a group all the way to level 12. So we have discussed as a group if we ever have a season 2 or can do one-shots to continue to progress through that content, but unfortunately due to real life stuff, we must end this season here.
For
So,
now.
final comments and remarks and outro roleplay because it's already past shutdown time, and I want the wife to still love me.
Well, I'll leave it up to you guys. Do you want the whole thing? Because Jamrel's been adding to his story, or do you just want the new part?
Yes, I want
The
all
whole
of
thing.
it. We
Oh,
need all of it.
Do it. Do it.
One beautiful morning, I came upon a gnome whose mysterious experiment had gone wrong. Among the mechanical traps he fell, quickly I ran and spent all of my spells. The greatest mission in which I've partook, and that is how I met my good friend Zook. One night in a tavern I performed without care, in another bard's turf of whom we weren't aware. He poked and prodded, acting tough, but wasn't too bad when it came to fisticuffs. But strings he pulled and life wasn't the same, and we knew we had to leave to make our way. Ill-prepared were we, our mistakes spelled doom, but on our way out we met the mysterious Illume. Proficient in travel she appeared to be, and so I asked her to join our company. We three friends away to honor and glory. Who will be the next addition to our story? Finally, to the dusty tavern in Phandalin, we met the quiet but imposing Rathian, who led us to a wilderness cabin and 2 more folks who I'd like to call friends. To Cazador and Longtooth we were introduced. Both were pretty intimidating if I tell the truth. We 6-forge on into the wild country, making our way to claim some bounties. A monster like none I'd ever seen before, as Longtooth put it, a rather large manticore. With stinging stinger and biting tooth, the beast was bad, but not unlike our group. We fought, and it slowly fell, but still we pressed on and continued our travels. And onward again to Namengard, with King Nerkly and Korbaz the Coward. Where a shapeshifter loosed and a missing 2, our journey led us into the barrel room. And of course the barrel's prey had to be Zook, and though it was scary, the mimic was slew. Dwarven mine with several big ooze, not the vacation I'd like if I got to choose. To Butterskull Ranch and some orcs to abuse, and into a dragon where I found my loot. Now our beautiful story is mostly told, of facing down the dragon in Spire's cold. Of adventurers brave, brash, and bold, of heroes like those in the stories of old. To those of you who followed when the outlook was bleak, thank you, for you made our story incredibly unique. And to my friends who slew the dragon of Icespire Peak, I hope that we meet again in the coming weeks.
Can we say that happened in the tavern back in Phandalin? Like,
Of course.
after we've brought the
Absolutely.
head back, we're in the tavern, and Jamrel gives everyone this wonderful rendition of his new masterpiece.
His masterpiece. I am perfectly okay with that.
And then it does the pinhole to black.
Yeah, that has to be the end. That has to be
Yep. Yep.
Yep. So that's where we'll end the role play. I had a request in chat, so we'll go ahead and close on this alphabetically. So we'll do Illum, General, Cazador, Longtooth, Rathian, Zook. Give us your character name, race, class, and subclass choices, and then finish out with what your final HP, what armor, if you were wearing any, what weapons were your primary weapons, and then any of the magical items you got from this story. Like I have the necklace of fireball or the collapsible 10-foot pole.
Cool.
Ready to go.
Love it. Okay, so I am Gregory. I've been playing Illum. Illum is a Scourge ASMR and was from, she comes from Karatur, like the other side of the globe from Neverwinter. I have been playing a warlock, level 6 warlock. Her patron is the energy being. It's from the RPG kitchen. So it's sort of a homebrew, kind of not really official patron, but lots of fun because it basically gave her the ability to like stay up all night and cast some fun things, like making sure that Zook could keep up along with us when we were on our journeys and so forth. So she ended up with an armor class of 14, wearing leather armor. She didn't really carry specifically any weapons to say, although she did have a light crossbow, just didn't really use it. She had been wearing the hat, or the wizard's cap, which was the focus she was using. But just before we entered this combat, the wand that Zook has handed her is a wand of the war mage, essentially, or something similar, basically like a wand of the war mage. She also had found what else was she using? I think that's actually it. She just had that for the hat. So she mostly did her
It's because you're a
Eldritch
warlock,
spell
and it's
stuff,
like,
yeah.
what do I do? Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, I was thrilled. So the haste came from the patron, one of my class or subclass spells, which was kind of cool. And I loved being able to use that today. Aside from that, she had a total of 46 hit points, and 20 was her charisma, which really never got to be used in like town or any kind of like, you know.
The only person you talked to in town was behind the door.
Well, it's because the only thing, or the only being that I tried to intimidate was this dragon, and I rolled a 1. So that's Illum.
All right. I guess I'm next. I'm Ben. I played Jamril, level 6 College of Lore Bard. And though it didn't come into play, I took Mass Healing Words and Revivify as my 2 spells from other spell lists. My main attacks were obviously my words, but I also used my rapier to pretty good effect, actually. And
Eye gouger.
Yes, Eye Gouger. And I had leather armor for a total of 12 AC and 38 hit points. So
Beast
it was
mode.
good I never got hit ever in this game, practically ever. Except by a lightning bolt, so he's still got Lichtenberg scarring.
Yeah, I love that at least 3 of us now have the scarring. Like, Illum's is definitely on her face, but...
I also love that I think there are 4 final blows of combat that would not have even hit, but instead ended the combat just because Jamrel shoulder rubs.
Yep.
Exactly.
And they were all like, it was a crowd of orcs. It was the lightning pig. It was like one of the onkegs.
And Jamril is totally okay with having most of his spells fail because his partners need to succeed. And that was his main goal from the beginning.
Jammerl, the real MVP. He the real team player, y'all.
That's right.
That's true.
All right, Cazador.
All right, I'm Valerie. I'm playing Cazador, a wild elf, Way of the Shadow monk. HP, a rather unimpressive 40. And my weapon of choice, spear, obviously, but also kicks and bites. Armor, obviously, none for a monk. And notable magic items, I was gifted with the 10-foot collapsible pole, and through some DM benevolence, a magic item from another module that functions as magical unarmed attack buff.
Claw weapons.
That's because no modules ever have anything for monks. They don't wear armor. They don't use weapons too much.
But what's Kaz's armor class, though?
16.
Nice.
It's with those thrall.
Oh, so Jammerl is saying he had the... Go ahead, Ben. Tell us what you have.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot that part. The instrument of illusions basically allowed me to cast an illusion a minor illusion while I was playing a song from the instrument. The wand of pyrotechnics allowed me to use an action to make a small illusion of fire or a symbol or something like that. And the clockwork amulet would have given me an automatic 10 on a hit, on an attack roll, that is. So I don't think I would have been able to hit the dragon with that, actually. Sorry. But,
Maybe.
Zook's bump with that Wand of the War Mage gave my attacks +9 to hit. That's awesome.
That's ridiculous.
I had +3 to hit, so yeah.
Our comments about Cazador reminded me. I was going to save this for another one-shot or follow-up or whatever, but I'm a jerk and going to reveal it now. The letter that Big Al Caladzorn wrote in our little montage, while y'all are all at the bar listening to Jammerl and stuff, the barkeeper gives the note to Cazador.
Nice.
I am pretty sure she speaks Common, but is functionally illiterate in it.
Yeah.
So I would need someone to write this for me.
This is why it's so fun, because I'm going to have somebody else have to read what the letter says to you, because Big Al does not know that you can't read. So there's some very like...
Oh, well, I would...
I want to know who Kaz would ask to read it. That's Mike.
Don't read these primitive squiggles, these human runes.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a love letter that somebody's going to have to awkwardly read to Cazador. So we will come back to that at some point, but just keep that in mind. Cazador has a like, hey, wild lady. All right, Clay, what you got?
I'm Clay. I've been playing Longtooth, a ranger, hunter ranger. I decided to play against type and not go dual wielding. So I actually took the defensive fighting style to add 1 to his AC. And used a pike, his long spear, which he eventually replaced with the Dragon Slayer long spear, which I noticed now that I forgot to do the extra 3d6 damage that one time I did hit the dragon, but it wouldn't have really changed the outcome of the combat.
Rathian would have still got the killing blow on there.
Yeah.
But, I actually really like the way it played out, right? Because I didn't have to worry about containing the bonus action of an offhand attack with Hunter's Mark, or the bonus action attacks I was getting off of Great Weapon Fighter, or Great Weapon Mastery. So, I'm actually really pleased with the way that build worked out, not doing the traditional dual-wielding ranger. So,
at one point, you were killing 3 things at a time at like level 2.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a powerful build.
And thank you for not playing
Thank you.
Dritz. So, I can appreciate that. I liked... Longtooth is probably, I'm not trying to like pick favorites or anything, but of the characters in this story, Longtooth is the closest to a character that I would play, and is actually very similar to the ranger that I played in 3.5. So
nice.
I can dig it.
So he had a 17 armor class, 46 hit points. So the only other magic item he had was the Wand of Secrets that was gifted to him by Zook when they were leaving Nomengard, I believe.
Yeah.
And he used that a little bit in the Dwarven mines to kind of find some secrets and such that were in there. But if you've been paying attention, he has a an aversion to magic, right? So I explained his ranger spells as the ghosts of his dead son coming back to aid him in combat in his moment of need, which I thought was kind of a fun twist to stay true to the crux of the character.
Nice.
We have to come back and play again just so we can find out what more about his family.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
I had a scene from the montage there. If y'all went back to town, I was going to have a Longtooth Cabin scene that I wanted to talk to Clay about and get permission before I interjected it on his character. But y'all decided not to go back to town. So I was like, well, don't have to do that.
Save it for the future.
No, I want to know.
Nope.
Yeah.
I'll let you know that one when someone reads aloud the love letter to Cazador. All right, Rathian.
I'll do it right now. My name is Curtis, and I played Rathian. He was a standard human Oathbreaker paladin. I went with standard human instead of the variant because I had really bad stats at the beginning and everything was odd. So I min-maxed him to get a bunch of extra bonuses. He started out using a glaive, but when I realized the rest of the party did a lot more damage than I did, I just started carrying my shield and mace basically all the time.
Which is why half of our fights turned into a nobody's hitting nobody, because a lot of the enemies had high AC, at least for lower level fights. There were several things that had like a 17, and Rathian would just shield up against them, and it's like, okay, a 12 misses a 17, and then the other side attack, and it'd be like a 12 also misses a 20. One of the spellcasters, please attack their constitution.
Yeah. Ever since that battle in the doorway where I held off like 13 things, I'm like, I'm going to be tanked for the rest of the time.
That was super
amazing.
cool.
That was awesome.
I really. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go. I was just going to talk about his gear. He doesn't have anything interesting.
You finish, and then I'll share one thought.
I was just going to say that he's pretty standard. He had heavy armor, a shield that got upgraded a couple times, and then he tended to use more buff and damagey spells than anything else. It was a lot of inflict wounds and sanctuary and stuff like that.
What are your guys' AC and hit points? I didn't catch that.
My AC ended up at 20, and my hit points were 52.
How about
I was 17 and 46.
Nice.
I got to say, Rathian was a total badass, right? I mean, because
for real.
Not only was he a super tank, right, but he had those moments with the smites and the inflict wounds to get killing blows on big opponents in big moments, right? So he certainly was awesome on screen.
I tried so hard to do that today. Rolled so bad.
You killed the dragon.
Yeah, thank God. That would have been really embarrassing. I mean, two smites.
It's the classic paladin, right? Paladin versus dragon. That's
totally, man.
More classic than that.
Exactly.
Yep.
I wanted to ask too, what did the skeletal horse have anything special beyond being a skeletal horse?
It's literally just a free
Just a
skeletal
normal
horse.
I think it's just a riding horse that's flavored.
Doesn't need to breathe or eat or something?
No, like it didn't give me any special stats. It just said treat it like a riding horse, except it's a skeleton.
So cool.
And I'm glad it lasted for the shopping episode. Chat says, Rathian, what's your subclass, Rathian?
It's Oathbreaker.
Yeah, it is Oathbreaker. It's actually you have to like get it approved because it's one of the evil ones, like the Death Cleric, but it's technically just a paladin subclass.
Okay. I haven't actually looked at the Oathbreaker prior to this game, so when chat asked, I couldn't remember, is that like a variant paladin, or is that an actual subclass of the paladin?
It's its own subclass. It's just in the DMG instead of the player's handbook.
Yeah, it's like the Death Cleric, like you said. Then.
Yeah, it's the two evil options. It's the Death Cleric and the Oathbreaker, and you're supposed to ask your DM like, hey, can I play this? But I was just like, I'm doing it.
Speaking of, I'd like to know everybody's alignment.
Sure. Wait, let's let Zook speak, and then we'll do
Zook, and then we'll go
alignments.
down the chart with your starting and finishing alignments.
And while Clay makes one up because he doesn't use it.
Right.
Neither do I. So
yeah.
So Zook is a rock gnome artificer with a subclass of artillerist. Was a lot of fun placing turrets as insects, and
I loved that flavor.
that was a lot of fun. For magical items, I think I had the beads, fireball beads, and Zook actually made a couple of magical items, which he handed out to the group, except for the Prismo Zapper, which he kept for himself, which is basically a repeating crossbow that doesn't require loading every time. Other than that,
that in my head is like a magical rail gun.
yeah, basically, yep, that's basically it. He had 45 hit points and 16 armor class. And
That's cool.
Beefy.
Yeah, I mean, artificers are very cool. You get an extra attack on 5th level. You don't have the full spells that casters do. You get like a secondary caster thing, but it's awesome. I highly recommend it. If anyone want to try it.
I like very much how in this group, out of 6 individuals, there were 3 that had somewhat healing abilities, right? And then myself had a little minor, like, I could keep you from dying. That's about it. But that's pretty cool for not having like a dedicated healer in the group. We actually did pretty well.
That's the thing. Y'all were either all the way alive or like, Jesus,
Just
we need a
about
long
dead.
rest right now.
Yep.
Yep.
Vera got us.
Illuma is neutral good, and I played that for sure because of with Rathian in the group and Cazador in the group having this sort of like these shadowy elements that seemed to, like, I chose Chill Touch very specifically because of the things that she sort of was seeing Rathian do, and this kind of element that he was channeling. I thought that would make a lot of sense to bring that into this character as well, as like as she learns and grows in power, what are the outside influences that are kind of manipulating her. So she definitely was aligned with what Zook and Jamril had sort of set out on, like, we're going to go out in the world and do good and help people, and that's certainly still a big part of her. But yeah, law and order, like, that's why she doesn't really have the issue with like Longtooth like just overturning the caskets and that kind of thing. Like, yeah, that's fine.
Longtooth's alignment started off as neutral, get off my lawn. In the middle there, it was neutral, I guess it could be worse. And then in the end there, it was neutral, I guess I kind of like these people, but I won't admit it.
Nice.
That couldn't possibly be any more accurate.
I'm stealing neutral, get off my lawn. That's my next character. I'm writing
Yep.
it on the sheet.
So good.
As if anybody had trouble guessing, Jamro was lawful good, though he had moments of, kind of chaotic good where he would have pranks or,
There's no doubt in Longtooth's mind that Jamril is the best of us.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you.
Our North Star.
Cazador was lawful evil, and the lawful comes into play not so much following laws as I like to play it more just going along with what everyone else is doing, because she's not from around here. She knows that her people do things in a very different way than civilized society does. So her lawful is she will see what everyone else is doing and go, that's the thing we're going to do then. Like, that's obviously normal. That's what I will do.
I like those points where she waits to see what everyone does and then goes, okay, well, that's normal, but that's also dumb. I'll be over here behind the counter rifling through the bread loaves or whatever it is that she's decided that day. All right, let's do Rathian and Zook and shut down for the night.
So Rathian was chaotic neutral, but I played it a little different because I based it on his personality traits and ideals and bonds and stuff. So chaotic neutral just in the fact that he could kind of just do whatever he wanted because he was this kind of tumultuous personality. But his bond is based on his history as a soldier and a paladin protecting people. And it was, I fight for those who can't fight for themselves. And his flaw was that my hatred of my enemies is blind and unreasoning. So I had those two things battling it out in basically every interaction that I had in the game, on top of the fact that he was chaotic neutral. And I think that's kind of how we put together what Rathian was.
And Zook was chaotic good. At times he was more neutral good, I suppose, but I was moving between those two, I think, throughout the game. He wants to do good, but he has a definition of good that he's willing to follow. Yeah. And bombing things and making things
bombs.
explode. Yeah.
Bombs are good.
I have a really important question for Zook, and then we will shut down. Straight jacket or sanity ray?
Sanity ray. Definitely sanity ray.
All right. Well,
Three cheers for our DM for being amazing.
This has been super fun, but it is a half hour past. I should have been done by now. So
you can just clip this one into its own YouTube video. It's our little talk show at the end.
That's not what I'm concerned about. I got a wife to go contend with, so I'm gonna get out of here. It's been really great. Like I said, we're gonna try and come back when we can. Aviad's on the other side of the globe, which makes this interesting because he is willing to wake up at way too early in the morning to hang out with us, and just is not able to support that anymore. I've got stuff going on. We're gonna start heading into the holidays and stuff like that, so we're gonna pause. But we do appreciate everyone coming out. And we appreciate Roll20 for sponsoring this show. They've been nice enough to do our put us in their Spotlight program. So they pay for our Roll20 Pro subscription, which does all the dynamic lighting and the extra features and all the snazzy bells and whistles that we use. So this is the end of the Dragon of Icespire Peak.
We appreciate you, DM, for running such a fun game.
Don't lie to me, Gregory.
Now, before we fade out, everybody go and Google the definition of ennui.
Yeah. No, I know what ennui is.
Bye, everybody.
Good night, all. Thank you.
Bye.